Hello, hello. I'll wait just a brief moment, do the sound check quick, and then we gotta get going, right? Won't start saying real things just yet, because I don't know if the sound check started or stopped or something. Oh boy. It always takes forever to start, doesn't it? Why is that? Why has the started or stopped or something? There we go. Feels like YouTube on my end takes forever to start. I don't know how long you guys hear me talk about nonsense, but I hit start and like a very long delay before it kicks in. Anyway, hi. Hi. We have a low number of people, so I need to hit start and let some people gather. There will be... Hey, David. How you doing? There will be no camera today. I just threw this stream together last second because I had some time and wanted to get a stream out. No, it's been a little bit. But things have been busy. Things will get less busy after this next week, but this next week is going to be busier than most. I'm sure most people have heard, so I won't keep repeating it. But yeah, shit's been crazy on this side, but got a little time. Thought we'd give you some content. People are drinking in EU at the moment. It's true. It's Saturday night. But over here, it's 3 p.m. Perfect time to stream. All right. Enough faffing about. If people are going to show up, then they'll show up as they feel. Today, I believe all of my replays are from round 4 of the Warpstone Cup. Now, if that matters to you or doesn't, every game today will either be someone qualifying for Stage 2 or getting eliminated from the tournament entirely. Then there is round 5, the final do-or-die round in Stage 1, where everyone left gets knocked out, right? So every game today has stakes. Let's start her off. So I'll flip you over here to the actual game. So we have a best of 3 between Captain Telis and Azrael of Astora. Let me look here. Captain Telis and Azrael of Astora are both in the 2-1. So if you get to 3 wins, you move out of Stage 1 and into Stage 2. The winner of this moves on to Stage 2. The loser enters round 5 for final chance at life. Best of 3. What if I want unrelated Vermin League games, Hummus? I might stream that later. We'll see. We'll see. As I've said before, the Warpstone Cup is a super big World Championship style tournament. So everybody will be trying their best. You'll probably only see builds that people think are the best. Very sweaty, very try-hard. That is what we have signed up for here. Next week, it's Friday, Mr. Phoenix King. So for our first round here, Captain Telis on the Demons of Chaos versus Azrael's Grand Cathay. We have Tzeentch the Watcher, Xiaoming the Iron Dragon with only his breath attack, then some Onyx Crowmen guarding the skies, Jade Lancers on the ground with Peasant, Long Spears, Jade Warriors, and some Archers. Tzeentch is making a Herald of Tzeentch's life terrible, as he only brought blue fire to protect himself. We have a Soul Grinder counter-dueling with Tzeentch, a bunch of Flyers, 4 Furies, and 1 Shrieking Sky Ray, our Screamer. Plague Bears of Nurgle mixed in with Bloodletters. And then a Sour Guts, and a Nurgling or 2. Tzeentch is still trying to pursue the Herald, who is just flying away to stay out of range. The Soul Grinder's shooting at Tzeentch, which is, like, fine, but I wonder if there's better targets for him. Onyx Crowmen and Jade Lancers piling up onto this Chaos Fury, and even though they got some leadership buffs, their leadership is still a big problem for them. It is one of their weaknesses. It looks like this one's about to demonic instability crumble very soon. Meanwhile, these other Furies are beating up on Onyx Crowmen and Jade Lancers, trying to get involved on the ground. The Furies will mostly get away. Xiaoming is on the Soul Grinder. There's not a whole lot that can stop him. Demons don't have the most mass. They have, like, Seekers they could bring, or Blood Crushers, but both are expensive and not usually very cost-effective. The frontline fight should go heavily to the demons, especially where these Bloodletters are. They are cleaving through Jade Warriors, who are not buffed up by Harmony at all right now. The Peasant Archers have to get a lot closer for that. Anyway. You have some Bloodletters in here fighting alongside the Shrieking Skyrays who are trying to get out of here while Peasant Longspears chew them up. Bloodletters can kill all this stuff, though, as long as the Jade Lancers don't cycle charge them to death, but they are going to leave and deal with some Furies instead. We lost 2 Furies of Tzeentch on that back line. Oh, wait, no, these are Chaos Furies of Nurgle. Huh, interesting they took those, I guess for the extra melee defense, but... Damn. I mean, I think the Khorne ones and the Slaanesh ones are particularly good. Nurgle is my least favorite of the 4. Oh well. Like we said before, the Bloodletter is more than happy to kill everybody over here. They're massacring the Peasant Longspears. And Cathay is slowly starting to lose their front line just a little bit. Overall, they're winning the game, because Zhao Ming's beating up on a Soul Grinder, the Herald of Tzeentch is extremely low, and we still have archers online, we still have some cavalry, and the Onyx Crowmen are overall winning the fight of the skies, with tons of support from their ground units, of course. But the front line is one area where the demons are doing fine. Bloodletters have broken through in a couple places. Plague Bears are still grinding. Though it looks like they're losing to Jade Warriors, they are still grinding away. Blue Fire to try and help out the Soul Grinder versus Zhao Ming, who has taken a lot of damage. And Tzeentch trying to make his way out of the Plague Bears and Shrieking Skyrays as Onyx Crowmen just clump up above. Not really sure what's going on with them, but it's nothing good. And unless that Soul Grinder can get free and start throwing again, Grand Cathay is in a really good spot. The demons need some serious firepower out of that thing. Jade Lancer is running out of steam, but they are still kicking, trying to stop the Sour Guts, trying to stop these Bloodletters in the backfield. And Tzeentch gets away, which means he will be able to turn around and fire maybe the killing shot in the Herald of Tzeentch. Doesn't have to kill him outright, just has to get him nice and low so that Demonic Instability takes him. But it looks like Tzeentch is instead lining up a shot on the Soul Grinder. Can the Soul Grinder dodge it? It's very hard, next to impossible to dodge Tzeentch shots. Does not look like that'll be the case. Grand Cathay's box is falling apart, slowly but surely. Not sure if it matters. Soul Grinder leads Zhao Ming on a bit of a jaunt. But Tzeentch hits him in the back. -9 leadership could fade in Demonic Instability crumbling. It will not. 1 leadership for the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, and he will survive as he tries to get away from Tzeentch. Tzeentch's range is right there. He's so close, but there's the shot that will kill him. Just before he could get out of range, the Soul Grinder is dead, and I think with the Soul Grinder goes the hopes of the Demons of Chaos in this game. One of their flanks is disintegrating right now. Frontline is still holding and even winning for them. I just don't think it's enough as balance of power tends to agree with me. Zhao Ming has a big-ass heal behind him. I'm sure if he could Spirit Leech himself just to get the heal and end this game, I think he would. Looks like Azrael will probably be going up 1-0 in the series. Thanks, Luigi. Appreciate having you. You know where to find us. But I think the demons are just doomed at this point. Looking around, they don't have the DPS or the stamina to stay in this fight anymore. It's just the Sour Guts keeping us away from army losses, and they can't beat multiple Jade Lancers coming for them. Tzeentch, Zhao Ming plus his heal. It's just cursed. Nobody wants to see my face, dude. Nobody. There is army losses. And that is a 1-0 start for Azrael. Give him his point here while the demons hurry up and die. Now, does Azrael go 2-0? Will Captain Tealis bring it back? Either one of them winning. They are not knocked out of the tournament. They're 2-1. That would make them 2-2, and they would go to round 5 to try and get that 3rd crucial win. So one of them will just get to stage 2, which is still a pretty good reward. Some of the casters are of Slaanesh, some are of Nurgle. Okay, I can get behind that. But the casters of Slaanesh, especially versus Grand Cathay, like, you really would like their armor piercing. And the Chaos Furies of Khorne just have crazy high stats due to Frenzy and whatnot, so both good options. Good game plan, good execution from Azrael. Just nice aerial forces to at least not be at the mercy of the Sky Force. And then Tzeentch out-sniping the Herald and the Soul Grinder was really good. And that is a good counter, too. Like, just thinking about it, the Soul Grinder is a very, very good unit, but it's not great at, like, just churning through raw hit points. And Tzeentch has a lot of raw hit points. On to game 2. I know I've said it a million times, but if you aren't on the streams all the time, I do put the blocker up just so you can't see my list of replays, because if you saw Captain Telis versus Azrael Game 2, and that's it, no Game 3, then you know who wins this. So to avoid spoilers, I just pop up the blocker real quick. What do you think Khorne will get for a DLC? Hopefully some light cavalry. Light cavalry, light infantry. Hopefully something with some form of range component, even if it's hybrid. But I don't know. The content creator Discord is just awash with people speculating on the lords. And I really don't know Khorne lore that well, so I unfortunately don't know the named characters that they're throwing out there. But, yeah. Alright, for the game in front of us, I paused just because we're so close to the action. I want to get through the builds really quick. For Captain Teals to try and stay alive, as backs against the wall, we have Centaurs and Centaurs of Tzeentch on the flanks, Pestigors and Goreherds on the front line. And then we have 3 Ungor Raiders, 1 Bratium with Wild Traderkin and Devolve, a Doom Bull, and 2 Centaurs with throwing axes. Not a lot of Minotaur presence, which is usually a Beastmen staple. They normally have almost as many of those angry cows with axes as they can fit. On the other side, lighter than Marauders. Between Marauders and Chaos Warriors, more like Slayers. Think of like Slayers, because they have heavy infantry covered, but they don't have any light infantry worth a damn. Anyway. For Lizardmen, Feral Cold Ones, Skinks with Javelins, Skinks with Dark Guns, the Shredder of Lustria, a Life Slan, and then I think I see a Saurus in here somewhere, but maybe I'm just mistaken. I thought there was one. There it is, a Temple Guard. And another Saurus Spear. Gotcha. Okay, this is a very old school build from the Lizardmen. Back when the healing meta was, like, first a thing. The Shredder of Lustria plus the Life Slan just trying to carry it out. Slan has Earthblood and Regrowth. We'll see how the nerf Skinks hold up. They did all take cost increases, which means this build's a little thinner, and you can already kind of see that the Feral Cold Ones are getting picked off. The Beastmen have also killed off one of the Skinks, got another one pretty low. And the Star Chamber Guardians and, the Temple Guard and Saurus Spears are just kind of wandering around trying to find a fight, while the Shredder catches one hapless Centaur and just chomps his ass. Oh, that one Centaur got in way over his head. Looks like this Bratium's not having a good time either as he fights on a pool of his own blood. Does throw down an overcasted Traderkin that's doing really good damage to Slan. Plus, oh, all the archers are shooting at him too. The Slan loses half HP in the blink of an eye. Feral Cold One's having a bad time fighting against Pestigors, now getting side-charged by Centaurs while the Traderkin was on top of him, and then rear-charged by Spearmen. Those rampaging Feral Cold Ones are in for a big world of hurt. Beastmen have some Gores. Oh no, they're chasing off Shattered stuff, and we have 2 Ungor Spearman herds AFK in the distance. The Beastmen are still ahead on the balance of power, so all hope is not lost or anything like that, but that is a big mistake here from Captain Telis. He has to rally some of these forces that are chasing off things that are no longer worth chasing and things that have just been flat out forgotten. While his archers end up in melee combat, he is going to peel for them. He'll secure them soon. They need to, you know, get to safety. This one specifically is trying to get past Temple Guard, and that's just not really going to work out. But it looks like all of his micro and focus is on his Centaurs, and then on his single entities as he is trying to snipe out Turin's... not Turin. Azrael Vistora's Slan. Which, like... in all realism, silver lining, your Centaurs and your Lord are way more worth your attention and time than your chaff or your archers, but in a perfect world, you don't make any mistakes. So I'll call out a mistake when I see it, but his Centaur play has been really good so far, and that is your main win condition. So I'd prefer that over, like, his archer micro is fantastic, but his Centaurs just YOLO'd it and fucking died. The Slan is out, leaving the Shredder without any extra healing and a little bit reduced leadership. I really don't imagine the Slan is going to rally anytime soon because the Beastmen have complete control of the battlefield outside of the central blob. So the Lizardmen can't really defend him. They're going to walk him off no matter what. Lizardmen's last hope are these 2 Saurus and the Shredder, which I find woefully inadequate. And there is a reason I said this was an old meta build, is it feels like the meta has moved on from a single target getting so much healing and carrying the game. A lot more people are bringing hybrid range, they're bringing mobility advantage, and you could just kind of slowly pick off builds like this without much issue. Devolve is out on the Shredder of Lustria. Now with the Dazed from the Doom Bull and Devolve, his stats are decreased by quite a bit. And the infantry blob is getting cycle charged and shot and throwing axe and all these things. So is the Shredder of Lustria. And that'll be GG to the Beastmen. Captain Telis evening it up 1-1. Now, it's not a bad strategy. I think Azrael's build was, like, fine. I just think the meta has moved on, you know? And the meta isn't, like... The meta's good and everything else is trash. It's like, no, this is fine. But Telis' build was the epitome of the meta. Armor-piercing frontline units came with the DLC, then some armor-piercing cavalry units that also came with the DLC. Then Centaurs got some buffs, too, so they got better animations. And then after that, his infantry was pretty garbage tier, but... It's not important. The meta right now is dominate the battlefield, get mobility control, have powerful single entities like the Doom Bull and the Traitor King Caster, and you'll be fine. All right. Back to the blocker, just so you know there's a game 3 for this series, but there are other series to cast today, and you don't get to know how those go. Looks like Telis pissed off Azrael, as Azrael just steals his build and comes right back at him. Except instead of the Doom Bull, he got Torox, who I haven't seen in forever. But Torox makes sense here. Fire damage versus the Tomb Kings reduces their army passive healing, which is huge. Moo, moo, moo. What do you think Cornagors will be like? Oh, probably dual weapons, frenzy, high weapon strength. Hey, Scott MC, how you doing? All right. Game 3, the final game. Captain Telis up against the Beastmen he just won on with Tomb Kings. Triple Skeleton, Horus Archer, our frontline, and Nehekar Warriors, and Tomb Guard ROR, the Kepler Guard. Skeleton Warriors and Spearmen. Behind that, we have 2 Shopped Great Bows. 1 is regular, 1 is the Chosen of the Gods. 2 Sepulchral Stalkers, 1 is the Eyes of the Desert. Tomb Guard with Halberds, and Ark in the Black with Spirit Legion Fate of Buna. On the other side for the Beastmen, Gore Herds and Zongors as far as the eye can see. We do have some Centaurs of Tzeentch, Centaurs throwing axes, Centaurs regular, 3 Ungor Raiders, and then Torox the Brass Bull, and a Traitorkin Caster. No! Oh! A Viletide Caster! Interesting. I think Traitorkin's better, but I appreciate the difference. I brought you back with me. Yes? Yes, okay. The stream for me is behind on that, so I wasn't sure if I brought you guys to the correct screen or not. Zongor's getting in there versus Arkan Summon Skeleton Warriors, trying to hold them in place, while the Kepler Guard and Nehekar Warriors try and win some fights. Sepulchral Stalkers getting shots off here and there, but the Archers are already in range of the Chosen of the Gods. Centaurs are moving up. Basic Ushabti and the Skirmish Cav are all firing at the Centaurs of Tzeentch. Good target. If you can get through their barriers, which they have, now you can start doing real damage and taking out models before those barriers even regenerate. And Arkan is under attack by Torox the Brass Bull already. Brass Body's up. 24 melee defense, 40% damage resistance while he was sitting in front of Sepulchral Stalkers. Centaurs of Tzeentch flanking in with their armor-piercing shots, while Archers all shoot the Sepulchral Stalkers as well. These guys are taking a lot of damage, while Torox is doing more rolls and flips than actually hitting Arkan, because that's Foot Arkan, making him deceptively tanky. Spirit Leech for Torox, now that Brass Body isn't active, and the Sepulchral Stalker's also getting really good damage onto him. Looks like he's trying to retreat through some halberds, while these Ushabti Great Bows really clean up on the Centaur front. Balance of power is heavily in the Tomb King's favor, as Skeleton Horse Archers are leading the Centaurs on a merry chase. These other ones are going to chase off those guys, and it is a quick surrender here from Azrael, seeing the writing on the wall that nothing was really going his way. Captain Telis, with a 2-1, will advance to Stage 2. Well done to him. Congratulations. For Azrael, there's always another shot in the 2-2 league. Game was cut short, as things were just going tragically bad for the Beastmen, so you won't see a lot of good values there. Alright, back to the blocker. And let's go to the other side. Let me find someone that's in the 1 and 2 category, fighting for their lives. Strangely, this is that. Let me just make sure. Yes, so we have a series on the other end of the spectrum. It is Archangel or Archangel? I always forget how people are supposed to say that. I'm going to go with Archangel versus VM's Craling. to stay alive. Both of these players are 1 and 2. The loser here will drop out of the Warpstone Cup entirely. The winner will go to 2 and 2 and play in round 5. And if they win there, then they'll be all right. But certainly a tough scenario to be 1 and 2 at this point. You do have to win both games in a row. Well, both best of 3s in a row. Otherwise, you're out. All right, to start us off, Archangel with an Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch, Final Trans, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom, some Chaos Furies, Centaurs of Tzeentch. Everything here is of Tzeentch. I'm just going to say what they are, but the Centaurs of Tzeentch do have armor piercing, which makes them a little different. A Changebringer, a Soul Grinder, a front line of Blue Horrors with the Sour Guts backing them up. For the Chaos Dwarves of Craling, we do have a Skullcracker, double Deathstreaker rocket launcher, Deathcaster up on his Bull Thorax thingy. Bull Taurus? Bale Taurus? That one. It's been a long day, guys. 4 blunderbusses and a front line of Hobgoblins exclusively. No melee Chaos Dwarves in this build. Okay. Well, the double Deathstreakers are making the Soul Grinder's life a living hell. And those blunderbusses keeping the Exalted Lord of Change at bay. They do try to dodge, but while they're reloading, they can't move. Only take a little bit of poke from the Searing Doom. Still a good Searing Doom, but they aren't, it's not like they're dead or anything. And over here, Centaurs of Tzeentch charging straight into the Hobgoblin Cutthroats. They're getting shot from the side by these Casper blunderbusses. That's going to be a lot of damage onto them. Their barriers ate most of the first volley, but the second volley will not be so kind. They are immediately going to retreat. Take a little bit on the back face, but not too bad there. Changebringers really want to get in there, really want to do something to help out the Soul Grinder, but it doesn't look like it's going to be possible, as the Exalted Lord of Change of Metal stops to summon Chaos Furies, but he sacrifices his entire health bar to do so. And a nice shot in from the Changebringers. Takes out a blunderbuss. Exalted Lord of Change is going to fall back, and the Blue Horrors are up here. Now, this is where Crabling's build's going to have some serious troubles, is his front line sucks ass. They're already getting pushed away. And if the Blue Horrors can walk up and just start harassing down these blunderbusses in melee or stopping their rock launchers, they'll be fine. Soul Grinder's trying to get some shots back on the blunderbusses, and the Changebringers take out another one with him. The Deathstreakers abandoned their target of the Soul Grinder when it was just about dead, instead trying to finish the Lord Snipe. But they might be getting too greedy. They might be going for multiple targets before finishing one. Now, 2 out of the 4 blunderbusses are shut down. Chaos Furies are trying to stop the Death Rock Launchers, who apparently have guard mode on, or just firing anyway. Can the Exalted Lord of Change dodge that one that's coming straight for him? It doesn't look like he's moving at all. He is just going to accept his fate. It hits him right in the face, 900 HP, and a Fate of Buna hits the Changebringers, but so far his leadership is holding, and the Deathstreaker rocket launchers change targets again onto the Soul Grinder, really not finishing their food before they keep changing. The Soul Grinder might just demonic stability crumble. It'll probably be okay considering how far the balance of power is in the favor of the Chaos Dwarves, but I must say, this is a pretty sloppy to be switching targets like this over and over and over again. He's really just got to finish something off. Spirit Leech after the Fate of Buna and a charge attack will take out the Changebringers. Balance of power will finish off Tzeentch. And that'll be 1-0 to Craling. I like how long it's taking these guys to demonic instability crumble. There we go. You winning it all? Itachi, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Tough first game here for Archangel and Tzeentch. Changebringers and Soul Grinder and his Lord got okay values. Everything else struggled quite a bit. For Craling, his Deathstreaker rocket launchers did fine. His Lord did fine. And then one of the blunderbusses, 1100, about 1000, 750, about 900. Yeah, okay, I guess all the blunderbusses did pretty well. GG. Why is he named Zero? When replays are sent to me from a different language than my game is set to, it can get a little wonky, which happens. Alright, that was game 1. On to game 2. That was a decisive game 1, too. See if Archangel can bring it back with some Dwarves versus Greenskin action. Looks like he is going with the Air Force. Alright, for game 2, Archangel on the Dwarves has a tight little box of double Ironbreakers, one of which is Norgrimlings, and then we have Miners, Longbeards, a Dragon Slayer, and Malachi McKyson, with only his heal and ammunition regeneration for his gyrocopters. Most of the heavy lifting is going to have to be done by the Air Force. We have gyrocopters, gyrobombers, and gyrocopters with brimstone guns. Gyrobombers are trash. So are the brimstone guns, aren't they? I think only the regular gyrocopters are any good, if I remember correctly. On the other side for the greenskins, we have Night Goblin Warboss with Rampage and his net. And then the boss's loons. We have a bunch of Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, Squig Herds as well. It's all Squigs everywhere. Nasty Skulkers, the Black Orc ROR, 4 Goblin Rock Labas, and then a Goblin Shaman with Vindictive Glare, Sneaky Stabbin', and Night Shroud. Now the Rampage, you've already seen why it is taken. It's taken right here to Rampage down these guys. They do get Mycosyn's Persuader to try and heal them up. The heal already wore off, did not save them from shit, and it looks like they're still going to shatter. They even get netted on the ground by the Tormentor's Sword. And they are dead. They are dead entirely. Now the Dwarves trying to get a little bit of vengeance by getting a lot of damage back onto the Squigs. More Squigs moving in as well. Miner's about dead, but the blasting charges almost take out the Dirkit Squig Hoppers off the bat. And honestly, I would rather be the Dwarves right now. Craling does throw the boss's loons down the line of the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, doing absolutely insane damage. That was really, really good. And I must say, I was preferring to be the Dwarves until, like, that happened. But originally it was like, yeah, 3 Squig Hoppers took a lot of damage to kill off one of your Gyrocopters, Brimstone Guns from a Rampage. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Gyrocopters trying to take out some of the catapults back here. Is Lady Rat getting excited for the wedding? Of course. Of course! It's Friday, though. It's Friday. This upcoming Friday. Hasn't happened yet. Goblin Rock Labas, 2 of them already routing. Another is on its way out. This final one leaving as well. So now all of the catapults will be dead. And that is also all of the ranged that this Greenskin army brought. There are Vindictive Glaring occasionally at these Gyro Bombers, but they don't actually have, like, archers or anything. Meanwhile, back at the main fight, we have Squig Herds doing Squig Herd things, and another Boss's Loons going through the Norgrimlings, even going through the Longbeards. 1,650 value for this little Night Goblin. But the Dwarven Air Force is routing off an awful lot of greenskins. I wonder how much ammo they're going to end up using on these catapults, but it is what it is. Squigs trying to chomp down some Ironbreakers. Might be too much for them to handle, though. Biting off more than they can chew, as it were. What is this? Dragon Slayer gets out way beyond his skis. Netted in place, not a big deal for him. He is just going to fight these Squigs. Wait, oh, did the Night Goblin rampage him? No, he didn't. Okay, I don't know how the Dragon Slayer got way out there. Gyro Bombers trying to shoot at the Night Goblin Shaman, and there's a reason I said Gyro Bombers are trash. I think they're just really fucking bad. These are gold chevron, too. Oh, God. Okay. Don't love that. How's Malachi doing? Does he still have 2 uses of that regeneration? Yeah. Okay. Because they'll need that ammo if they're going to win this. The Gyrocopters are already running pretty low. Another Vindictive Glare doing a lot of damage to the Gyro Bombers. Still 4 out of 4 models, so they should probably go get a heal and ammunition dump from Malachi. Just so that those Vindictive Glare pokes don't keep taking them down. Still have 2 rampages for the Night Goblin caster. And this Dragon Slayer has decided he's had enough of this. He looks like he's trying to get back to his boys, but the Crimson Killers are here, buffed up by a wall. It's going to be pretty brutal. Speaking of brutal, look at the damage the Squigs are taking. Is they're just not getting through these Longbeards at all. That is beyond their capacity. The Norgrimling's Ironbreakers are fucking dead. Jesus. Alright, the restock was used over here, but these guys are going to get Rampage soon if they don't back the hell off, because the Night Goblin Warboss is nearby, and he definitely still has his Rampage. And if you take that thing that just got a bunch of ammo and HP, drop it on the ground right in front of these nasty skulkers, that could be terrible. Vindictive Glare goes out on the Jar Bombers who are already weakened. No models lost for them yet, but it's getting close. And the Night Goblin Warboss is in range. I think these Gyrocopters are about to get dragged to the ground. But no. Now he's starting to arc over here. I think he just missed his moment by just a second. Yeah, he definitely wants that one back. Goblin Rock Lava is slowly coming back online. This one, the crew is in place, but they need to actually get on their mounts. There's not a ton of follow-up, though. Nasty Skulkers are looking pretty beat up. All of the Squig variants are looking very beat up, and the balance of power is about 50-50 as Gyrocopters keep going absolutely insane. Aren't Gyro Bomber's bombs kind of crazy? I suppose. There's the Fermented Fungi on the healthy Gyrocopter that we were worried about. And if the Dwarves lose, this will be the moment that cost them. Gyrocopters still 2 seconds of being rampaged. Now they'll probably get netted. It looks like some Ironbreakers are trying to run up and stop the bleeding, but the bleeding is profuse, and it is a disaster as these Gyrocopters go from full HP, full ammo to fucking dead in the blink of an eye. Still have one Gyrocopter that's very healthy, though they're out of ammunition. This other Gyrocopter, 3 out of 4 models, also about out of ammo. And the Gyrocopter bombs trying to kill the Crimson Killers off. Trying is the key word there. Elsewhere, Longbeards are still fighting it out. Nasty Skulkers get hit with those bombs. There's quite a bit of HP. And Malachi is still up here, firing away. I hope he's slowly poking at the Night Goblin Warboss. And these Gyrocopters, 3 out of 12 models, their DPS is incredibly reduced. Maybe if they come back, at least they still have a lot of ammunition. Night Goblin Warboss is going to want to be careful taking this fight with Malachi. Malachi is squishy in melee combat for sure, but he can still give you a thumping. Though he's missing every attack, which is rather unfortunate. Left on his own, Gyrocopters nowhere to be found. Balance power turning heavily against the Dwarves as Malachi is just left on his own. Gyrocopters, other Gyro Bombers not coming to his aid. Now they're starting to. We'll see how much that matters. This is the healthy Gyro Bomber with no ammunition. Looks like it's going to go after the Goblin Rock Labas just for a bit of damage. Ironbreakers killing the Night Goblin Shaman in melee all by themselves. And some of the Squigs shatter away from Malachi, leaving him on his own as he shotguns his way through the Night Goblin Warboss. And he's getting shot by other things. But another good charge in from him will help out quite a lot. The Gyro Bombers got the extra ammunition, so Malachi's out of ammunition casts and heals. Gyro Bombers in the back acting like dogs, doing pretty well. Malachi 600 HP, but the Night Goblin Warboss doesn't look like he's going to live to tell the tale. 200 left on Malachi, and his leadership's barely holding for the Warboss. The Warboss hits him again, never missing a shot, as Malachi barely ever hit him, so the RNG definitely favoring the Greenskins. In a very close exchange, if the Dwarves had ever gotten anything to break their way, they might have won that duel, but they did not. Night Goblin Warboss getting very low as the Gyro Bombers try and take him out before he can ever use his last rampage on them, and they rout. Okay, this is very important for Archangel. He needs to pursue that Shaman and the Night Goblin Warboss. He needs to get after them. He cannot let them come back. He cannot let them get that last rampage off, and he might be able to win this game, though that is still a pretty generous might. As the Gyrocopters using some of their ammo to kill off the Warboss. I appreciate that, since leadership is going to be your biggest way of winning this game. He kills them outright, but no more ammo. Do not use your ammo on the Foot Night Goblin Shaman. You can't possibly hit him. And they are, unfortunately, wasting their shots on him. They need to just go into melee mode and chase him off, because they'll need their ammo to kill off the Crimson Killers and stuff later. More stuff is shattering off. All of a sudden, the Dwarves are way ahead of the balance power, and I would agree as more and more of the Greenskins reinforcements are shattering. The Crimson Killers have taken an awful lot of damage, so have these nasty Skulkers. Gyrocopters are back and firing into the backs of these guys. It looks like army losses will hit. Archangel and the Dwarves will take game 2 in a very close affair. They clutched it out. We're going to game 3. The Dowie Air Force still very strong against the Greenskins unless they carefully play around their rampage game. Craling did a good job stopping the Ironbreakers from being too much of a problem. His Lord gained 2,500 value. Absolutely insane stuff. I hate Goblin Rock Labas. I don't know why people keep taking them versus Dwarves. They just don't matter. Squig Hoppers did okay. Nasty Skulkers also sucked and died. Basic Squigs did okay. Ironbreakers versus Black Orcs isn't even a fight. Black Orcs have a melee attack of something like, it's something like 32 or so. Crimson Kills are different, but basic Black Orcs have like 32 melee attack, and the Ironbreakers, what is it, 68 melee defense or something like that? That's just too much to ask Black Orcs to get through. So we're coming to game 3 between Archangel and Craling. What the fuck? I'm double confused. Alright, Craling is a Skaven player and he's always played them a little strange, but like, why are you picking Skaven in the year of our Lord 2024 in an elimination game? And then versus Chaos Dwarves, what is this build? You have no globes. I guess you have 3 Jezzails, but you have no globes. What if they had like those Ironsworn? I don't know. I think the Chaos Dwarf build is also weird, but I kind of get it. It's creative. It's fun. I think Gordo's Backstabber just sucks ass. I hate him. I think he's garbage. Ogre's Wolf Boys are fine. Goblin Labor frontline is fine. Hobgoblin Cutthroats are fine because Skaven are just going to nuke your frontline anyway. Triple Kadai Fireborn is creative. It's risky, but I get it. They're really good at blitzing through the Skaven frontline. They do a lot of damage and stuff. Like, yeah, it's risky, but I get what you're going for. We have a Firecast with Fireball and Burning Head, and then the Demon's Tongue, Iron Demon, ROR. On the other side for the Skaven, Triple Jezzail, Gorich, Ikit Claw with Flensing Ruin and Howling Warp Gale, and then a whole bunch of Skaven Slaves, Clan Rats, and Rat Ogres. That is it. No globes, no dogs, no fluff. The Kadai are getting melted by the Jezzails on the advance. Okay. In come the Kadai Fireborn, though already this one is about to lose their Unbreakable trait and become very, very breakable. We're going to have to see the Demon's Tongue get active. That's the thing with Skaven, that you have to hit everywhere at once so they can't just shoot you down. And I'm a little concerned the Demon's Tongue is taking too long to get here as the Kadai Fireborn are wearing off. A Burning Head through Hobgoblin Cutthroats, but they already, unfortunately, routed, so the Burning Head only hits Goblin Laborers, really not doing that much, unfortunately, but Ogre's Wolf Boys and Gordos are trying to get in through the back side here, and the Sorcerer Prophet gets netted right above the Jezzails. He is going to take some serious damage, but that'll leave the Demon's Tongue open to do whatever it likes. The Kadai Fireborn still trying to get through that front line, having a bit of trouble. Ogre's Wolf Boys and Gordos going to get around the side of these Rat Ogres, still try and get into the back line. But can our Sorcerer Prophet friend get up into the sky? It does not look like it. And his heal is very much on cooldown, so he is stuck here with the rest of us. As Ogre's Wolf Boys do manage to get back here with Ikit. Ikit's trying to free himself. If it's going to be a Lord for the Lord trade, you'd rather be the Chaos Dwarves than the Skaven, who can't do anything without their Lord. But the Kadai Fireborn frontline is already faltering quite a bit. And the Iron Demon is going after Ikit. Gorich and the Rat Ogres abandon their chase of the Sorcerer Prophet, instead trying to save Ikit, who is under attack by Gordo's Backstabber. Flensing Ruin is out onto the Demon's Tongue, plus a big old attack from Gorich. Tons of damage onto him. Ikit is also taking a bit, but definitely a very favorable trade for the Skaven here, as those guys are getting worked down. Jezzails are back online and firing over at the Iron Demon. And the Sorcerer Prophet's not getting back into the sky. I think he was given orders to land, so then the last thing he remembers is landing. He stays on the ground, gets chased off by the Rat Ogres, and that is looking like a swift GG. Gordo's unfortunately sucks. Kadai Fireborn still pretty bad. And it was bold, but it was probably too much. Because Gordo's, yeah, he just gets melted. He just gets fucking murdered, dude. Taking heavy infantry against Skaven is just inviting disaster. I suppose, but you still need globes to like deal with some stuff. I still think Kadai Fireborn are just unfortunately too bad to deal with Skaven. I can kind of see what he was going for, but you saw how much damage they took on the advance. They're not really tanky enough to do that kind of thing. And then Gordo's is, I don't know. Some people like him, but I really don't see it. He just feels troll as fuck. He's all the worst parts of a Goblin Big Boss. Craling will stay alive in the tournament. Going to 2-2 total, entering round 5, where he'll either get his third win or his third loss. One way or the other. I'll go first, I choose die. Yeah, that was a tough one. Gorge did fine. Giselles did well. Ikit did well. Oh, Gordas. You trash panda. Good job, Crabbling. Well done. Getting a win for the boys, the Skaven. The lads. Alright, so that was a 1-2 game where the loser gets knocked out, so Archangel will be departing the tournament. It's good to have you. Let's pop up back and find another 2-1 game. I believe... What the fudge? Oh, someone sent me a wrong replay. Alright, got it. Let's go to a 2-1. We'll cast some more Skaven. You know what? Fuck it. We'll cast some more Skaven. Human boy, yes, yes. That's me. Versus 2 Noblars in a trench coat. That's Melon head. We are both in the 2-1 bracket. The winner of this goes to stage 2. The loser goes to 2-2. Still has another chance in this tournament. We see emote Queek today? Dude, never playing Queek. Alright, for Lizardmen versus Skaven, we have the new and improved Skaven 2.0 build that is definitely OP against Lizardmen, and it's not just that Lizardmen took like 8 nerfs to the face that made this matchup playable again. Frontline of Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves, Ikit Claw, Flensing, Ruin, and Brass Orb, 2 Poison Wind Globes, Ikit Zap Zap, Warp Lightning Cannon, a Gutter Runner and a Night Runner on each flank, 2 Dogs, 4 Rat Ogres. That's it. On the other side for the Lizardmen, we have Krokgar with his Hand of the Gods on his Velociraptor. We have a Skink Priest of Heavens with Wind Blast and Moronic Convergence. Feral Cold Ones, double Solar Engine Dino, Colossus Hunter, Ripperdactyl Riders, and then a bunch of Skink Skirmishers up on the flank. The Skaven gonna run out. Looks like they want to get these Skink Skirmishers off the field. Nice and easy. And Krokgar goes for a Hand of the Gods down the side of the Poison Globes. Most of the projectiles go above and over them, leaving Krokgar looking just kind of sad and alone while the Solar Engines get shot at by the Zap Zap. I didn't want to shoot at the Pterodon caster because Ikit Zap Zap will miss that small of a target quite a lot. Wolfrats and Ikit catching out some of these, but they're going to have to run away pretty quickly here as the Feral Cold Ones and Colossus Hunters are taking an interest in this, and Skaven want nothing to do with that. So they're going to play it a little cautious, though we do have a bunch of support coming nearby. Ikit is going to go all in for it and try and cluster some stuff up. Now the dogs should be able to get a rear charge with the Rat Ogres as well, and more dogs collapsing in. Ikit acting as the bait he needs. And Globe still doing a lot of damage to Skink cohorts. Also killing their own Skaven slaves. Oh, they're Clan Rats. Whoops. Alright, that probably wasn't a worthwhile throw in that case. Another Wind Blast is out onto some of these Gutter Runners that are harassing down the Pterodon. The Skaven front line's not doing too good. A lot of blinking leadership bars up there, but big win on this bottom side. Taking out the very expensive Colossus Hunter is going to get them off the field soon. Feral Cold Ones also in disarray. We got one of the 3 Skink Skirmishers, and now my Wolf Rats are going to jump out and start to catch up to the rest of these Skinks, maybe take them out. So this side is a big ol' win for me. The top side is going pretty well for Lizardmen, but isn't quite a win just yet, as the Solar Engines now turn their attention onto Ikit Zap Zap, trying to knock them out while Krokgar dives into Skaven Slaves. Alright, little outclassing me on that one. And then Krokgar is going to go fight Ikit Zap Zap as a Wind Blast goes down the side of him as well. Ikit Zap Zap hoping to take out the Solar Engine. But I'm sure that this is the last we'll see of Ikit Zap Zap. Just remember where they are. Ikit Claw and the boys chasing down more of the Skink Skirmishers. The Colossus Hunters are back. Couldn't quite stop all of them, and I surround this Bastillodon with Rat Ogres. Armor-piercing, frenzied boys trying to beat up on the Solar Engine. We'll see how they do with that. Ikit Zap Zap tries to kill off that Solar Engine once and for all. And we have a surround on these Skinks where I have Poison Globes throwing in from both sides. And that is just making it a little clusterfuck of death, while Ikit Zap Zap ignores Krokgar's existence and continues doing whatever they want. Another Wind Blast down the line of my Night Runners, but they get to fire straight up the Skink Priest. So it's going pretty well for them. Globes walking into like melee because they couldn't see the Skinks for some reason, but there they go, they get a good volley off. In the distance, Ikit and the boys chasing down the Skirmishers just fine. We're still fighting that damn Bastillodon. Krokgar, trying to stop Ikit Zap Zap, does get a really good Hand of the Gods down that Poison Wind Globe. Pretty much just going to shatter them for how much damage they just took. And Ikit Zap Zap are making their great escape as Krokgar tries to figure out how to stop them from doing whatever they want to do. Ikit the boys returning from their attack on the Skinks, and a second Rat Ogre has joined the party against the Bastillodon. We'll kill it someday. Globe's going to throw out the clustered up Skinks, and that should be the end of them, especially with dogs charging into the rear. It's a little bit of damage on both. One of the Rat Ogres splits off to sandwich these guys in and get them routing. Do need to get rid of those guys. Still have the Clostodon Hunters, still have the Bastillodon, still have Krokgar. We still have Ikit Zap Zap running across the entire battlefield to get away from Krokgar. They'll never die. Look how far they've gotten while he's still attacking them. Night Runners and Gutter Runners trying to kite out the last of these feral cold ones. And Krokgar finally abandons chasing down Ikit Zap Zap and takes a big old overcasted Cleansing Ruin for his efforts. The Bastillodon with Solar Engines still is very healthy, considering how long it's been fighting armor-piercing Rat Ogres. My dogs make some time chasing down shattered Skinks. Gutter Runners prevail over the feral cold ones. Bounce power is pretty bad for Lizardman, and Ikit Claw, that was his first Cleansing Ruin, so he has plenty in the tank. And now his entire goal is just to kite, stay alive for as long as possible, and just spam out Cleansing Ruins until Krokgar is dead. Also, Ikit Zap Zap, still there. The flag's back there. They're right here. They're actually doing fine. Surrounding the solar engines, though it does have a source of terror, so it is going to knock out some of my people as soon as they charge in. And Ikit Zap Zap getting ready to fire at, I don't know, these feral cold ones. It's gonna get their ass. Yeah! The unstoppable Ikit Zap Zap. Krokgar took like 5 minutes chasing it around just to accomplish nothing. Clostodon Hunters do and get in a fight with my Rat Ogres briefly. Ikit Zap Zap's going to turn and start to deal with them as Ikit Claw joins the fight against the Bastillodon that's routing off all of my troops. Not a big fan of that. Krokgar's still taking a little bit of damage here and there, fighting Night Runners and whatnot. Ikit Claw moves over to maybe say, how do you do? Melon surrenders from there. Hey, Boss Man Kane. Alright, for Humus Boy and the Skaven, Gutter Runners and Night Runners did fine, Globes did fine, Ikit Zap Zap did pretty well, so did Ikit himself. Rat Ogres did well, really just everything did its job. Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves died for the Great Horned Rat. For Melonhead, Krokgar, he used his Hands of the Gods pretty well, but one of them, he got really unlucky that it, like, a couple bolts hit my globe, the first one he fired. A couple bolts hit the globe, and the rest went above it, and then just off in the distance. And then he got unlucky that Krokgar fought my Warp Lightning Cannon crew forever, did nothing to them, and then fucked off. So that was kind of messed up. Not really his fault. I don't love his build, if we're all being honest, but I can kind of see what he was doing, and then Krokgar just failed him. The Heavens Caster is just trolling. Like, I don't know. I think he might have been trying something, and then he realized that Wind Blast sucks. So, like, I appreciate the hustle. But yeah, Heavens Casters just are terrible. Wind Blast is the worst spell in the entire game. It's so sad. The rest was fine. Probably just a different caster, and... yeah. Krokgar. In theory, good, but... damn, son. Game 2. Tzeentch versus Ogre Kingdoms. What up, Captain Tealis? Tealis, we just cast your win at the start of the stream. We cast your win versus Azrael. Welcome to stage 2, my friend. Well done. Nice 3-1. You used to call me by my bell phone. Is it worse than damage reflection spells? Is Wind Blast worse than them? Yes. Is the Lore of Heavens worse than them as a whole? No. Harmonic Convergence okay. Curse the Minute Wind's okay. Anyway, Ogre Kingdoms versus Tzeentch. For the Ogre Kingdoms, we have a front line of Gnoblar Trappers and 1 Gnoblar. 2 Lead Belchers. We have some Iron Guts, Ogre Bulls with dual weapons, 4 Saber-Tusk packs, and that is it. Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with Tooth Cracker and Brain Gobbler with his Blood Gruel to heal himself up slowly as he gets poked by blue fires and whatnot. Every time he spams out a spell, he will heal a little bit. On the flanks, we have Chaos Furies and the Screamers of Tzeentch. For a front line, we have a ton of Blue Horrors, the Sour Guts, Marauders and Marauders with Spears, and then 2 Centaurs of Tzeentch, and an Exalted Lord of Change of Tzeentch with Treason, Pink Fire, and Blue Fire. The Ogre's front line is moving up, nice and quick. We already have a Brain Gobbler out onto these Blue Horrors to lower their leadership quite a lot as the Ogre Bulls charge in, get them to that demonic instability nice and early. As Lead Belchers are going to shoot for themselves, and Saber-Tusk packs are just sitting back there waiting for Chaos Furies to dive down, and then they'll use their crazy high weapon strength to get good charges on these guys, as the Ogre Bulls are on the front line busy dealing with all these Blue and Pink Horrors. Already we have Marauders routing. Blue Horrors have died from the Brain Gobbler, and over here more Blue Horrors are dying, so the Ogre Kingdom's off to a pretty good start. In comes the spooky part where the Centaurs now get a free charge onto my rampaging Saber-Tusk packs. We'll see how this goes. Chaos Furies are suicide diving for my Lead Belchers. Not that Lead Belchers can really get to safety anywhere. But the front line is going abysmally bad for Tzeentch as the Ogres roll over them and start to feast on their bodies for army passive. We even have a Butcher already, a tier 3 army ability already at a minute and a half into this game to heal up a Saber-Tusk pack as it fights among the Centaurs and Furies trying to keep them in. We have 1 Lead Belcher still online as Saber-Tusks rout off the Shrieking Sky Rays and Furies. They're just trying to hold down things. Ogres win the front line convincingly, so now Gnoblar Trappers are starting to turn back and defend the Lead Belchers. Anywhere the Lead Belchers are going to be in trouble, a tier 1 army ability of Dismember is thrown out against these Centaurs. Anyway, wherever the Lead Belchers will be in trouble, we have Gnoblar Trappers walking up to at least punish the forces that deal with them. Shrieking Skyrays did beat back a Saber-Tusk pack, and a Chaos Fury Summon is out. Immediately dives onto my Gnoblar Trappers. The Saber-Tusk pack that received the Butcher is still going strong for now, so we have some Centaurs who are getting reactivated as we speak. My second final Lead Belcher is terror-routed away. It looks like it is going to be dead. And a Pink Fire goes down the Gnoblar Trappers as the other Gnoblar Trappers are dealt with by Chaos Furies. Round here, we're still chasing off some of the Tzeentchian forces to get more army ability, plus just take them out. More and more Gnoblar Trappers coming back to the back line. We have Iron Guts also ready to regroup back here. And another Brain Gobbler gets rid of the Centaurs of Tzeentch, routing them exactly. Minus 16 leadership, and they were routing by minus 16. So get rid of those guys, leaving the Shrieking Skyrays in a fight of their own making. The Chaos Furies plus a Pink Fire did manage to take out 2 Gnoblar Trappers. I was ignoring them because I thought they would despawn, and then they just kind of like didn't. That was a problem. Still have a full health Centaur of Tzeentch, still have a full health Shrieking Skyray, and a full health Exalted Lord of Change. Currently beating up on my Iron Guts without any support nearby for my Iron Guts. Trying to get over there and help out a little bit. Throw down a Tooth Cracker for missile resist and armor and whatever, but I didn't know how much it would help. All these things are armor-piercing and whatnot. Ogre's starting to rally on the peripheries. Still chasing down some more Marauders in the distance for more army abilities, of course. And the balance of power is 50-50, though. I feel like the Ogres are doing very well here. I guess my Lord is just a shitty little caster Lord. He doesn't have Exalted Lord Change, I suppose. Iron Guts take a fight with the Centaurs of Tzeentch, but the Centaurs get massacred on the charge, and Gnoblar Trappers throwing at them, and a side charge from the Iron Guts, and that once full health Centaur of Tzeentch is entirely deleted off the face of the earth. The Iron Guts are still fighting okay with the Shrieking Skyrays while Gnoblar Trappers fire in, and we get another tier 3 army ability Butcher for this other Iron Gut. The Centaur shatters in front of our eyes, and now it is just the Exalted Lord of Change and the Shrieking Skyrays for Tzeentch. That is it. As the balance of power starts to realize the trouble Tzeentch is in, Ogres surround the big bird. There go the Shrieking Skyrays. There goes the game. Hey Sakura, been a while. How you doing, man? Thunderbolt still deletes siege engines? I think it can still kill one model. Alright. Iron Guts did fine. Lead Belchers, they were there in case of like Chosen or Chaos Warriors with halberds, and there weren't any, so the Lead Belchers did what they could. They did fine, but Melon Head did a nice job knocking them out pretty early. Noblar Trappers did well, Saber Specs did well. For Melon Head, or 2 Noblos and a trench coat, Shrinking Skyrays did fine. Exalted Lord Change did fine. Centaurs of Tzeentch did pretty well. Sargoths did okay, but the rest of his front line got completely bricked. And yeah, he's still alive in the tournament. He's 2-2. So next week he'll get his final opponent, and we'll see if he makes it to stage 2. As for myself, I did get to stage 2. So I don't have to play the next week, where I would be insanely busy and not have a lot of a chance to play. Let's check out another 1-2 game. I believe this is a 1-2 game. Bwags versus Hamster Berserker. Fighting for their tournament lives. Remember, whoever loses this best of 3 is out of the Warpstone Cup, and whoever wins it goes to 2-2 to play in the final round next week. Alfredino himself is actually administering the final round, so that's pretty cool. Had a league relapse. That's fair. In cars, I do rig several series in my favor. And then you bring Queek. Oh yeah, of course I'm going to bring Queek. Oh, I love him. He's so good and great. Anyway, for game 1 here, Bwags on the Warriors of Chaos with a bunch of Chaos Knights, Armored Chaos Trolls, a front line of Marauders, and Archaon the Ever-Chosen with 1 Skirmish Cav, Marauder Horsemaster in the back. Archaon is Spirit Leech and Burning Head. On the other side for the Empire, a Steam Tank with a Volley Gun, the Master Engineer not on a Steam Tank. I suppose I should have inferred that when he had another one over here. That's going to be a good Burning Head through some Halberdiers. Halberdiers, the Grundrels Defenders. Looks like the Empire has made a octagon formation with a bunch of Free Company Militia, Sterling's Revenge on the inside as well, as the White Wolves and the Hammer of the Witches. Alright, Warriors of Chaos, can you break the box? As the Hammer of the Witches fires into Chaos Knights, doing a couple damage. You die in the game, you die in real life. I don't know why you would state something so obviously true, but sure. Grenade Launcher Engineer, plus all the firepower of the Empire, really harassing these Marauders down quite a bit. The Steam Tank's going to go choo-choo straight through them. Archie has attack orders onto the Steam Tank. It had better scuttle back into its box if it knows what's good for it. Looks like it might just do that. As the Warriors of Chaos slam into the Halberdiers, and is actually going to rout them pretty soon, especially if there was Terror nearby. Looks like Archaon's busy. Yeah, they get through anyway. So they need to get into the cookie jar here and really mess everything up as fast as possible. Looks like the Chaos Knights are starting to stream through. And this is where things get tough for the Empire. Really nice Burning Head. Clips the Spearman to give them the leadership debuff while doing most of the damage to the other side. Ando's the other side, also burning them to reduce their leadership and make the situation even worse for the Empire. That was a gorgeous Burning Head. And now things are getting desperate for the Empire already. Archaon's chasing down the Steam Tank. Already took about a third of its HP, maybe a quarter-ish, somewhere in there. But as the Empire's front line falls apart, so does their battle plan largely. The White Wolves trying to fire at Archaon for now. Steam Tank's trying to get away from him. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. And Halberdiers have been pulled to the front line. They've stopped the Chaos Knights in the tracks for now, and the Chaos Knights specifically probably have to pull back and then get around these guys somehow. As a Burning Head from the Empire come in, hits the Grundrels Defenders, but also hits the Marauders. Honestly, that's kind of a wash, but Grundrels Defenders will hold on for now. Chaos is this horrendous blob just trying to brute force their way through the front line of the Empire, and it looks like it is working as Archaon takes his time to fight the Master Engineer. Hammer of the Witches is out, Free Company Militia are out, Sterling's Revenge are out, and the Steam Tank's still doing alright. That's kind of the only thing going that well for the Empire right now. Their backline of Spearmen and Halberdiers is also getting pulled into the battle, and Archaon throws down another opportunistic Burning Head. It's going to hit the White Wolves and the Spearmen. Some gorgeous Burning Heads from both sides this game, but I'm especially impressed with the Warriors of Chaos one. That leadership debuff just doing so much work. Chaos Knights having to deal with the steam tank in the distance. And it feels like the Warriors of Chaos are losing a bit of steam here. They didn't separate out any Chaos Knights to like run down these forces off in the distance, so I am a little worried these guys will be coming back. Looks like this Chaos Knight is going to ignore the volley gun steam tank and instead try and deal with all the ranged units, which is fine, but you can't let him come back. And Archaon's still trying to kill the Grundrel's defenders, who don't give a single shit about anything and are fighting to the death, apparently. Another Flaming Sword of Ruin is out. Chaos Knights that are stuck in this fight taking a lot of damage. Marauders not getting a ton done either. And the Warriors of Chaos might have to back out of that blob fight as it's all of a sudden not going their way, but Archaon is going to bounce out. Slayer of Kings as he rear charges the steam tank. Should be constant hits for him. Only 21 melee defense on that thing, and he got a charge bonus, and he's rear charging it. That's just too much for the steam tank to deal with, so it should die to Archaon very soon as he walks up to it, gets a good chop in there. Could be a decent way for Warriors of Chaos to get back in this, as all of a sudden everything is routing away from that central fight that they lost rather decisively. The steam tank is about to get finished off, but does it matter? Things were going so well for Chaos until they very much weren't. Steam tank losing to Archaon doesn't seem to matter as the rest of the Warriors of Chaos are just abandoning him to his fate. We have some Chaos Trolls rallying a little bit. Chaos Knights trying to kill off the Stone's Avenge, taking them a scary long time to do so. And Halberdiers are slowly walking after them. And Archaon continues to chase the steam tank around. He is going to keep getting good shots on it. The only way they win this from this point is if he waits until his Chaos Trolls and Chaos Knights that remain are able to come back and help him out. And if they charge in as he uses a Burning Head, this is going to be a gorgeous Burning Head, but there needs to be a follow-up. Something has to come in to do that extra leadership damage to get these guys to rout, because raw damage alone won't be enough. They will come back to the fight, and Archaon's just alone. These Chaos Trolls aren't coming straight back to him. They're trying to come around the sides, and now the Steam Tank's also focusing on him, as are the White Wolves. He's getting shot point-blank range by these Free Company militia. Chaos Knight's going to jump in around him. His Terror should help them out, should get these guys routing nice and early. And the Armored Chaos Trolls, I don't know where they're going, but they've got to get back in this fight. Maybe not just jump into Halberdiers all alone, but they got to pair up with Archaon's Burning Head or something, because this Steam Tank is just shooting at him the whole time he delays. He stops in place in front of him. That is a disaster for Archaon. I don't know why you stopped, but you need to keep moving. Now he's trying to run away, but the Steam Tank's just going to shoot him. Indecisiveness is killing the Warriors of Chaos here. Archaon continues to get poked down every moment that Steam Tank and White Wolves are allowed to shoot at him. Now he's starting to chase some stuff off, but it's too late for that. Archaon is going to rout. And the Armored Chaos Trolls and the Marauders up in this little patch of woods here abandoned the Lord of the End Times. Steam Tank takes out Archaon. Leadership's going to spike down for the Warriors of Chaos, which makes these Marauders and Trolls next to worthless. I feel like the first half of that game, Wags and the Warriors of Chaos played absolutely fantastically. And then it felt like they got a little lazy in like the 50 to 75% portion of the game. They just kind of like committed to the blob fight and just kind of sat in there instead of like backing off their Chaos Knights and running down some of the routing units. And then in the final part, a little bit of indecisiveness of how to get back in the game hurt them a bit. I think when he got his Chaos Trolls back and he got that gorgeous Burning Head, he needed a rear charge in from the Chaos Trolls. Might have done enough leadership damage to get the Terror out of the Halberdiers. And then if the Halberdiers routed, then you could charge at the Steam Tank and take it out. I think that was his only hope. Steam Tank got 2,700 value, which is pretty bonkers. One of the Halberdiers got, yeah, you can see the Halberdiers that got to fight in that blob. 915, 1,400 from just chopping at Chaos Knights and Archaon. Free Company Militia, pretty underwhelming, but the White Wolves got 1,200 value, which is quite nice. Grundrel's Defenders also got 1,027. But Archaon was trying to solo carry that. Chaos Knights did, like, okay work, but no one else really supported Archaon that much. Alright. Back to the blocker while I pull up le game. Le tout. Alright, Bwag's on the back foot, goes to his beloved Wood Elves. Now, this is what we first saw him on the channel for. In his first new player tournament, he took Mass Vanguard Wood Elves, put them all on one flank, and walked at his opponent. It was ominous, it was scary, and it is Bwag's favorite faction as far as I'm aware. For Hamster Berserker, trying to channel the will of the Skaven. This is a winnable matchup for Skaven. That's fine. Like, I think both sides have some teeth here. Wood Elves are one of the weaker factions in the game right now, but Skaven is a matchup that they do okay into, and that goes both ways. Skaven do fine into Wood Elves as well, so this is a pretty even matchup. For two lower tier factions, I'd put Skaven above Wood Elves on the tier list, but in this specific matchup, it's pretty even. So we have a bunch of Dryads in the Vanguard, Sisters of the Thorn, Glade Riders, 2 Hawk Riders, Durthu, and then a Spell Singer of Life. Yes, she is a singer. Cool. On the side of the Skaven, we have some Gutter Runners in the Vanguard. We have Wheels of Doom, the Doom Wheel for Ikit Claw. Then we have Night Runners with Slings, Ikit himself on his own Doom Wheel, a bunch of Rat Ogres, and Skaven Slaves for a front line. No globes, just a bunch of Night Runners of various types. Glade Riders get a Shield of Thorns cast from the Sisters of Thorn. And already the Wood Elves are bombing through the front line of this Skaven. Durthu's in here with his cavalry charge. Curse of Honor here, plus the Sword of Death, giving the Skaven very low stats, but also a lot of damage and terror, which is rather spooky. Oh, they have an Eshin Sorcerer as well as Ikit. Why? I guess they just wanted Warp Stars, but you have Ikit. You don't need an Eshin Sorcerer. What the fuck? Flock of Doom's out, and the Hawk Riders helping to chase off some of these Night Runners with slings. These Hawk Riders are doing horribly. Horribly bad. Bounce power is slightly in the favor of the Skaven, though the Wood Elves are starting to bring it back because the Skaven are breaking everywhere. The Wood Elves are going to need to take some time and run them down. Eshin Sorcerer terror routing away from Durthu. It's not a natural route just yet, but it does waver into a natural route barely, but then he comes back, so we'll see if he ends up actually routing or not. For the Skaven, it's quickly becoming Ikit Claw, and a couple Rat Ogres are going to need to rally up. Wheels of Doom have secured some Gutter Runners in the distance. We have 2 Gutter Runners on the sides. The Glade Rider is going to clean up one of the Gutter Runners. The other one is just trying to catch up to the Wheels of Doom for now. For now. As Hawk Riders and Sisters of Thorn keep chasing stuff. These sisters do surround Ikit. Durthu needs to walk over here and deal with this, but also they need to chase down the Eshin Sorcerer. Got to dedicate some time to the Eshin Sorcerer. Bounce power is still about 50-50. Glade Rider is finished up with the Gutter Runner, which should rally. Never mind. One of the rats got off the battlefield, but the rest are still on it, but I guess it doesn't matter. The Wheels of Doom will peel off that Glade Rider. Eshin Sorcerer is back. And Wraiths of the Frozen Heart chasing down the Rat Ogres as Ikit Claw is fully surrounded. But Durthu is taking a shockingly long time to get to this fight, and he is the main DPS source against Ikit. Like, you can see these Sisters of Thorn just really aren't doing that much damage to him. Overcasted Cleansing Rune down onto Durthu. It is going to do good damage, but it also hurt Ikit just a bit, which he did not need. And now Durthu's slapping him. As the Sisters of Thorn are all terror routing and routing, Ikit breaks free, gets away from Durthu, and gets to safety. On the back line, we still have Hawk Riders. Both of them rather healthy. And they chase off a couple of Night Runners into the distance. Eshin Sorcerer is back in it, and going to be back out of it as Durthu whoops his ass. And how are we doing here? For the Skaven, we still have some decently healthy Gutter Runners with a little bit of ammunition. A Night Runner here and there. The Wheels of Doom is full health. Ikit Claw is half health. That's about it. On the other side for the Wood Elves, Durthu is very healthy. Wraiths of the Frozen Heart are also doing pretty well. We do have a Spell Singer of Life who's fine. A bunch of random Dryads, a healthy Dryad up there, and healthy Hawk Riders. So overall, it looks like the Wood Elves have a little bit more going for them than the Skaven do. But not a ton. Durthu's back in. Sword of Death harassing Ikit just a bit, doing damage to the Rat Ogres as well. A nice little Warp Lightning does really good damage on the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart, actually. Wood Elf Cav is getting cleaned up by Gutter Runners and Night Runners as they try and secure some form of dominance. I don't know how the Skaven are going to kill Durthu. I really don't. That's actually, like, not a meme. That is a real concern here. Hey, Hayseed, how you doing, man? Kolek is not always the play. Shuriken Poke really catching on, perhaps too much. Is it? Is it? Nice charge in for Make It Claw, gonna help these Gutter Runners take out the last of the Dryads, while the Hawk Riders for Bwags are just chasing off anything that routes faux free. Sister of the Thorn try and come back with 3 models and 87 HP. They shatter instead, but I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate the effort. The Wheels of Doom plus a couple Eshin hybrid units. Really doing their best. Warp Star Poke on Durthu. Does very little, because Durthu has a gigantic HP pool and decent missile resistance. Does the Skaven rally up? Race to the Frozen Heart, get their clutches on the Gutter Runners, and then immediately apply that Frostbite, making them even slower, so that the Dryads can catch up to them and really run these guys down. Quick Flock of Doom out from Durthu onto the Gutter Runners. That's fine. Night Runners try and harass the Hawk Riders away. And another Eshin Sorcerer or Shuriken onto Durthu, but it just doesn't do that much, man. The Skaven are getting slowly and ominously walked down. As the bounce power goes increasingly against them, we're about to lose these Night Runners with slings to some Dryads. And you can run all you like, you're not going to get anywhere. The Widows have got you. Hawk Riders using all their ammunition on Ikit to poke him down even further. Just get rid of the Skaven leadership. Another Flock of Doom out from Durthu on both of the Gutter Runners in this fight. Dryads helping to deal with them. As everything is dark as hell. I like how, like, badass the Doomwheel lightning shots look, but when they hit a single entity, they actually don't do any damage. It just looks cool. Where's the rat face today? This stream was thrown together super quickly, so I didn't really want to take the time to set my camera up and turn my lights on. So I'm just casting as quickly as I can. Ikit did use unlimited power. I think he kind of had to in the situation, but it unfortunately didn't go his way, and he did take the overcast damage. But I think the only way he could win this is if he delays with some very key Flensing Ruins, and might as well try for it. But that was a loss for the Skaven, and Bwags evens up the series 1-1. For the Wood Elf, Sister of the Thorn struggled quite a bit. Hawk Riders also struggled a lot. Dryads did fine. Glade Riders did fine. Durthu did fine. I'm shocked how little value the Wood Elves got while winning that game. That felt weird. The other side for Hamster Berserker, 3,300 on Ikit Claw. His Gutter Runners, mixed, but overall fine. Night Runner Slings got barely any value whatsoever. Eshin Sorcerer also did very bad, and the Wheels of Doom did okay. All right, 1-1. So going to game 3. Remember, whoever wins this goes to 2-2, stays in the tournament, stays alive. Whoever loses this is out of the tournament. We will be unfortunately saying goodbye to them for the Warpstone Cup 2024. Looks like we have a Bretonia mirror to end it out with Alberic versus Alberic. Life casters on each side. Where one side went with 2 Grail Knights, the other side went with 2 Royal Pegasus Knights and a Hippogriff. Why does Bwags have 4 Trebuchets? What the fuck? What the hell? Alright. 4 Field Trebuchets for Bwags. Alberic de Bordelot. Double Grail Knights. 2 Knights of the Realm, and then some Men-at-Arms with Pole Arms, and a Peasant Mob frontline with a Damsel of Life with only regrowth. On the other side, we have 1 regular Pegasus Knight, 2 Royal Pegasus Knights, 2 regular Pegasus Knights, 2 Royal Pegasus Knights, a Hippogriff Knight, Alberic de Bordelot, then a Damsel of Life with only Earthblood, and then Peasant Mobs and Spearmen-at-Arms. The Trebuchets are aiming at the Royal Hippogriff Knights. I am not sure they will ever hit them. One second, sorry. Grace asked me something. She was napping, and then she woke up, and she's like, I hear you talking. Are you streaming? What's the dinner plan? So I just had to tell her, I'm streaming until you feel like having dinner, which is why this one was so ad hoc. Was just like, I knew I hadn't streamed for a while, so I thought I'd throw one together while she was taking a nap anyway. Because Blags isn't a coward, that's why. Yeah. The Trebs are just going to move on to shooting at peasant mobs, which, like, I get it, but also is a horrendous waste of their time. There's just nothing here for them to shoot. I guess they were supposed to be an archer counter. I don't believe in Trebs at all. I just don't. I honestly don't think there's a single matchup where trebuchets are good. Fucking fight me. Anyway, they're pelting some peasant mobs. The flying forces have set up. And the Grail Knights just wait. I like how even Alberic just lands. He's like, you know what? Fuck flying. I don't want to deal with this. There's like 6 flying knights up there. I'm just going to land with my Grail Knights. Treb's trying to line up shots. Hippogriff Knight sitting in the sky. And I love how 2 minutes into this game, nothing effectively has happened because just some half-assed peasants have died. And it's like, yeah, neither side cares that happened. Knights of the Realm charging the peasant mobs, maybe going to break them on the charge. Instead, going to pull back. The peasant mobs are rallying. Now it looks like the Flying Knights might be committing. Regular Pegasus Knights commit onto the Grails. This is beautiful. Royal Pegasus Knights and the Hippogriff Knights get a full surround on the Grail Knights, doing so much damage to them. Unless they get an emergency regrowth soon, they are going to die a horrendous death. Another sandwich in on the Grail Knights over here, and this is really, really good stuff from Hamster Berserker. Knights of the Realm trying to charge in and helps out. It looks like an Overcast regrowth is going to save this Grail Knight. That's probably the better choice, as this one looks so doomed. The regrowth will probably be wasted. At least save the one you actually can. Beautiful Knight of the Realm charge. Both sides getting good surrounds onto both sides. It looks like this flank should go well for the green team. This flank will not go well for the green team. They even have halberds in the area, but they're discouraged from the Trident of Manon that just went down. Now Blags' Alberic is in trouble, and he lost one of his Grail Knights. Meanwhile, the Trebuchets continue to push and poke away random peasants. Random Pegasus Knights land on Knights of the Realm. Looks like they're winning that fight so far. Since they were flying, they were able to get the drop on him. But having won that fight, the Grail Knights and Knights of the Realm come over to bail out this Alberic. He is just about dead, then they get distracted on their way in. The Knights are milling about, losing attack orders because they're still distracted by the Royal Pegasus Knights who hadn't actually routed yet. The Royal Hippogriff Knights, very low, but hanging in there for now. The Knights, Royal Pegasus Knights and Alberic all of a sudden fighting Grail Knights, and Grail Knights are just more effective melee combatants. Their disadvantage is obviously they can't fly and they're a bit more expensive, but, I mean, if they get a fight with you on the ground, then sure, yeah, you're fucked, dude. So the Grail Knights are beating up the Royal Pegasus Knights, getting a little bit of damage onto Alberic. The Hippogriff Knights were trying to chase green Alberic, then they get slightly distracted, kind of beat up on the ground too by the Knights of the Realm. These other Grail Knights are in. All of a sudden, green is ahead on the balance of power in something I did not expect. I feel like red had been playing this really well, but that one fight not going his way and the overcasted regrowth on those Hippogriff Knights really helping him out. Now Alberic's trying to weave his way back to safety, gets a normal regrowth on himself as well. We still have a healthy Pegasus Knight. The rest of these guys are very low, and where is the red healing? I feel like I haven't seen nearly as many Earthbloods as I have seen regrowths, and that's not usually how that's supposed to work. Now a desperate gamble from Hamster Berserker. He dives in onto the healthier Grail Knight trying to get something done, but he's going to get rear charged by Knights of the Realm. Rally is out for green Alberic, and I think this is the final fight. Earthblood, Overcast trying to heal up all of the flying Knights of Bretonnia. They have more Royal Pegasus Knights coming back in. We do have a Grail Knight and a Knight of the Realm sitting by the edge of the map. They do need to be recalled, but it looks like both players' focus is on this blob fight that is currently going in green's favor. He even has halberd support nearby. The Trebuchets are still up and running. They're shooting at peasants. No one cares about that at all. Green Alberic has significantly less health than Red Alberic. Red has been just ignored this entire time, and the Royal Pegasus Knights are getting some decent damage down. They've almost killed this Grail Knight. They're pushing off that other Knight of the Realm. Here come the severely damaged Grail Knights, and then a healthier Knight of the Realm. And if that Trident of Manon is for green, then that should be good here. It is, because the Discouraged will get rid of the Damsel. And it makes these Royal Pegasus Knights not want to jump back in. Balance power is dangerously low for red team, and I have to agree. Red Alberic being healthy is the only thing that's going right for them. He gets a nice Trident down the lane, though. That's really good. That's probably going to rout off everybody here besides this Knight of the Realm. Green Alberic going to chase some Royal Pegasus Knights for a bit. Red is left on his own. Terror routes off Knights of the Realm. If he can get back into the sky, he could actually just fly over these guys and escort them all off the battlefield. Okay. I know, dude, I know the balance of power is a disaster right now for red, but actually... Oh, that Knight of the Realm only terror routed. They didn't really route. Okay, that's huge. Because, like, if you look at the battlefield, right, pretend that knight actually routed and he followed it off the map. You have almost dead Alberic versus full health Alberic. Full health Alberic can win that. You have almost dead Knights of the Realm versus full health Alberic. Full health Alberic can actually win that. And then the balance of power is massively inflated from all these bullshit-ass trebuchets that can be killed in the blink of an eye. So actually, red Alberic could have been close to carrying this, but another regrowth in onto regular Alberic, that should be enough to tip the balance of power against red. And, I mean, also just the whole game. I mean, if he's getting that healing, then it's not so one-sided in the Alberic duel. And then the extra Knight of the Realm support should determine the outcome. One of the Knights of the Realm was out, but all of the red support is gone. Alberic's landing big hits onto red Alberic, with the Knights of the Realm helping out. All the trebuchets having ammunition left and full health bars. Balance power is just way too far gone for red. Rear charge in from the Royal Pegasus Knights, but that is army losses. And Bwag stays alive in the tournament at 2-2. Hamster Berserker falls out at 1-3. Wasn't there a Brett versus Grand Cathay match? I'll go Trebs won. Like, there might be games where Trebs happen to win, but I don't think the Trebs are the reason that the team won, is more of my complaint. Grail Knights, the one that got beautifully sandwiched and murdered, got 1,200 value still, while the other one got 2,600. Knights of the Realm both did pretty well. Look at that, though. The Men-at-Arms polearms that got to stick around and fight all of those units got 1,900 value from poking at the butts of the Royal Pegasus Knights and Hippogriffs. Hey, fuck you. How you doing? For Hamster Berserker, his Alberic, 2,300 value. Actually, pretty much significantly better. Pegasus Knights did okay. Royal Pegasus Knights did alright. Hippogriff Knights got focused down. And then I really think, like, it was a close game, so anything could have decided it. But the Earthblood caster just felt so underwhelming compared to Regrowth. Like, Regrowth saved one of the Grail Knights from death, while Earthblood just kind of tickled. It's good job, Blags. Good job. And was that the last series? I don't know. Grace hasn't texted me back yet, so I'll assume I should keep casting. I did say I could stop at any time, but I need a bit of heads up. Alright, so that was a loser's game, where it's like 1-2. Let's pop back up to 2-1. I believe this is 2-1. Let me check real quick. Where is this? Versus the... There it is. Yes, this is a 2-1 series. Hadries, that Hadries, the beloved famous Hadries, versus the Gentle Rat. Oh, I accidentally clicked that. Didn't mean to. Hadries versus the Gentle Rat. The winner of this, as we have said before, goes on to Stage 2. The loser is not out of the tournament just yet. They'll just go to 2-2 and play in the final round that starts this next week here. Hadries versus the Gentle Rat. Alrighty. We see Tzeentch versus Chaos Dwarves again, interestingly enough. For Tzeentch, we have Chaos Furies and Centaurs. Shrieking Sky Rays. One Zongor is the only infantry that was brought. Chromatic Abominations. We have a Metal Caster with Skull of Catan and Final Transmutation. The Golden Griffin of Theurgy. And a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. On the other side, actually, almost the same build Craling took. 2 Infernal Guard with Fireglaves is different, but we have 3 Blunderbusses instead of 4. Double Deathstreaker Rocket Launcher. Goblin Frontline, Deathcaster with Fate Buna and Spirit Leech, and then Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. Yeah, it is almost the same build here from the Chaos Dwarves as Craling took. We'll see what the Gentle Rat can do, as one of his Infernal Guard is under attack, but their Halberd troops and his Blunderbusses are going to mulch through the Centaurs of Tzeentch, make them regret diving down, but the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch is a lot less helpless than the Soul Grinder was last time, just diving down and dealing with this. While the Blunderbusses are so busy trying to kill the Centaurs, none of them are going to try and peel this Chaos Lord for now. The Golden Griffin did take a bit of a shellacking on the way in. Chaos Fury's diving down, and the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders looks like one of them might Demonic Disability crumble. The other one will be just fine. Centaurs of Tzeentch plowing through the Goblin Laborer front line without any problems whatsoever, and one of the Death Shriek rocket launchers is offline. Shrieking Skyrays getting shot and rear charged by the Source Prophet of Death, while the Infernal Guard continue to fight with Centaurs of Tzeentch. Both sides taking incredibly high amounts of damage for how quick this game is moving. But it looks like Tzeentch is about to gain the upper hand as the shooting of the Chaos Dwarves is mostly shut down. We have one Blunderbuss free firing over here, though. That could be a problem. One of the Centaurs is out. A Fate of Bune onto another one, while the Blunderbusses continue to try and fire as they can. Infernal Guard bail themselves out, and the Death Shriek rocket launcher is alive. Now, it was meant to counter a Soul Grinder, which is not here. This is a full rush Tzeentch build, and the Doom Shrieker rocket launchers are not built for this at all. There's only one Centaur of Tzeentch still in this fight. Looks like the Centaurs that are disrupting this Blunderbuss are actually just trying to rout, so it's a coincidence they're stopping the last Blunderbuss from firing. Chaos Fury shutting down the Infernal Guard with their fire glaives. And the Chaos Dwarves really need to find some shooting to keep online, to get back online, because that's really their only DPS, as the Death Shriek rocket launcher is helpless in the face of the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. Here comes the Skull of Catan Overcast Fountain Transmutation. Yes, there it is. The Skull of Catan Final Transmutation on the Sorcerer Prophet of Death while he fights on the Infernal Guard. Almost hits the Death Shrieker too, but then the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch comes in, and the Golden Griffin is coming in. This is the death blow as Hadri's decides this game is over. I'm done with it. Routes off the Lord, and that probably is army losses. GG. The lack of Kislev today has been so nice. Yeah, so our tournament does have a pick ban system. Both players, well, I won't go too far into it, but both players can ban some factions. So Kislev's not making it through a lot of picks and bans. So that's why you don't see a lot of Empire. I do think those are the top two factions. When I've been playing recently, some people are banning Tzeentch, and I find that silly. I mean, Tzeentch is strong, so it's not like trolling silly, but it is like, when I look at Empire and Kislev, I go, okay, so these two are far better than everybody else. I think the thing with Tzeentch, though, is people hate getting Soul Grinder kited. It's super unfun and uninteractive. So I think some people just global ban Tzeentch, like, not because it's the best faction, but because they just don't want to fucking deal with it. Which, I kind of get it, but I would way rather hunt down a Soul Grinder kiting me. Which sucks. Not going to say it doesn't, but I'd way rather deal with that than a Steam Tank or Kislev. Like, just Kislev in general. It's not even one specific aspect of Kislev. It's like, unbreakable high stats. Yes, please, daddy. All right, game one goes to Hadri's. Game two, he pulls out Nurgle, our first Nurgle of the day, versus the Gentle Rats Vampire Coast, also first of the day, with a very unique build. What the hell? What is this? Silastra with two other heroes. Who would be third best after Kislev and Empire in the current meta? That would probably be Tzeentch. Probably be Tzeentch. There's an argument in there for Bretonnia. There's an argument in there for Grand Cathay. There's an argument for Beastmen, but gun to my head, I would say Tzeentch is probably third best, yeah. They're solid. Anyway, Nurgle with a full surround already. Pestigors and Chaos Furies in the Vanguard. Then we do have a bunch of Marauders and Plague Toads, one Plague Drone of Nurgle, and a Demon Prince of Nurgle with Spirit Leech and Curse of the Leper with his bound stream of corruptions. But Curse of the Leper and Spirit Leech, huh? Okay. For the Vampire Coast, we have a bunch of hand cannons, which hand cannons are not a meme anymore. I know they were a meme for most of their lifetime, but now they are just specialized. They are anti-aircraft guns. They're so good against air units and then pretty meh against most other things. We have a Carronade, Silastra out on her Crab with just her Ghost Summon, and then Vangeist's Revenge, a couple deck droppers with bombs, and then a Mourngul and a front line of zombies. That is about it. A wild Vampire Coast build. We also have a Vampire Caster with Invocation Heck and a Gunnery White with Restock to help his flyers. It looks like the Coast is hoping to secure the aerial advantage and then just bomb kite their enemies into oblivion. Two Furies are already dead from the handgun fire, and it looks like a Plague Drone took about half HP on the way in. Now, these are undead. They're zombies. They'll take quite a while to kill, because that one is surrounded by two Furies. It is getting massacred, but it's not like they're going to break or anything. They'll be okay. Slosher's in here getting good damage onto these Plague Drones. Spirit Leech hits her as the Demon Prince of Nurgle has also dove in. What can the Bombers do? It looks like they're going to take out some more Chaos Furies. Vampire Coast is briefly up on the balance of power as these Furies, who are rather expensive, like 600 gold per, right? When they die, it's not nothing. These Plague Drones are also taking a lot of damage. If the Aerial Force dies for the Nurgle forces, that'll get balance of power quite in the Vampire Coast's favor, briefly. Though I do think Celostra is inflated. Like, the balance of power considers her a lot more than she actually is. Like, she's just not that good. We'll see. This is a lot of infantry. I suppose, but as we said, they have bombers and restock. Maybe they can't clear out all these guys. Nice shots onto the Pestigors and Nurglings who are stacked up on top of each other. And Celostra looks like she's completed her battle. No, the Plague Drones just got away from her. Cannons trying to fire at point-blank range into the Plague Drones and finish them off as their leadership is proving quite a problem. And the last of the 3 hand cannons is effectively shut down unless they get a significant amount of invocations and a heck to keep them alive, which does feel a bit of a waste, so I wouldn't bother doing it. But, you know, all the hand cannons are out, which means the Demon Prince is going to be a lot healthier. Damn Knights Errant are summoned. A little late, in my opinion. They could have been used to maybe try and protect some of these guns. They are going to run into Pestigors, but I feel like the Damn Knights Errant, despite all their like high stats and stuff, their charge bonus kind of sucks. Like, it's a high number, but I feel like they just kind of never really prove their worth to me. Anyway, Bomber Bats are doing their job, just trying to bomb out the front line of the Nurglings. The Vampire Coast is up quite a bit on the balance of power. There's a good volley. We are about to lose a Plague Toad of Nurgle. Pestigors do tear out away from the spooky Ghost Knights. And a Carronade's still alive, occasionally firing at the Demon Prince, who does get a Fecundity out to heal up him and his front line. Celeste just trying to deal with him. Honestly, I kind of wanted to YOLO a Vangeist's Revenge real quick, because this amount of infantry is going to be a problem to deal with. Damn Knights Errant doing good jobs running through the backline. Looks like they're going to end their tenure fighting a Marauder of Nurgle quick. We'll see how much that matters. Mongols are nearby. The Demon Prince is going to back off. The front line of the coast has run out of time, though. Across the board, they are dying. Means they'll get on the backfield onto this cannon. And with the Damn Knights Errant summon, that's going to go away, and then the cannon is certainly doomed. You'll see that balance of power come right back towards the middle, as that's going to be a big swing in the favor of Nurgle. Nurgling killed off. Not a big deal. There go the Damn Knights Errant. And the Demon Prince. Curse of the Slugs, the deck droppers, and then he himself is going to chase them down for a while. Hadri's front line is starting to slog their way uphill. Try and get to that Carronade. The Bomber Bats have to split up and make the Demon Prince choose between them. They can't stick together, or he can chase them both at the same time, as Celostra goes diving in. Mongols and Celostra's Terror take out another Marauder, as the Mongols are trying to use their hunger to heal up a little bit here and there. And there we go on the Carronade. It's going to fire its last shots in the Demon Prince. It's been firing all game long. It's just about paid for itself, so that's the first time I've seen that in quite a while. But the Marauders of Nurgle being on top of it will be a pretty big issue, for sure. Bombers manage to get a quick volley out onto Pestigors before they have to run. Where's the Vangeist's Revenge of Celostra? Where are the Invocations of the Heck? I'm hoping the Vampire Coast gets way more aggressive about their magic soon, because I haven't really seen them using too much of their magic. Just the Gunnery White is trying to poke out the Demon Prince of Nurgle for now. Frolkers aren't taking much damage. They're fighting the Mongols, who are slowly crumbling to their death. The cannon of the coast is gone. Oh, there it is. It's still technically alive. Technically being a very key word there. The Demon Prince catches up to some of the bombers. Where are the Salt Lord Scudlers? There they are. Looks like the Vampire Coast, this is a replay, so I wasn't telling them what to do. They didn't hear me. They finally did separate out their guys. There's an indication of Heck to try and heal up the Giant Crab Lady. She goes diving into the back line. She will reduce their leadership enough to get those guys to tear out. Might actually be able to tear out the Marauders, and if she saves that Carronade, I'm going to be so sad these Marauders couldn't kill it in all this time. Bomber's trying to find a place to stop and shoot for a while. Another Spirit Leech onto Celostra, and yep, the cannon is back and alive. And Hadri's forgetting some troops here. A rare mistake for him, but he does need to get them moving again. As the Salt Lord Scuttler is going to bomb them while Solastra hits him, and then they're going to be another terror out. Coast doing a pretty good job here. Oh, but the Demon Prince found the Vampire Fleet Captain. And he's beating her up real good. How many restocks does this Gunnery White have? One? Oh, one left. Okay. Bomber Bat's still doing really good work. The Demon Prince is back into the sky. As the salty spittoon scuttlers push off another Pestigore. And at this point, your best friend is going to be just routing them 3 times and shattering them, rather than, like, outright actually killing them. Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires fading away. She cannot cast Invocation to Heck on herself until her leadership is positive. It gets positive, and she heals herself as the Demon Prince tries to get away. We still have some zombie polearms Solastra can hang out with. We still have a Gunnery White that can constantly poke just slightly. But the Invocation caster appears to be doomed. Salt Lord Scuttlers need to keep firing. They need to use this precious time they're not being chased by a Demon Prince to get as much damage out as humanly possible. Or as undead battingly possible. More damage onto the Marauders. Another Spirit Leech for Solastra. And Gunnery White, do you have... You've used all of your restocks at this point. Looks like you used them all in the Salt Lord Scuttlers, who are still bombing away at this Nurgle front line. Balance of power is back to about 50-50. Solastra's not doing too good. Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires is fading away, so she can't cast Invocation on herself or Solastra right now. But Nurgle's front line has been taking a beating, and that was their main advantage for most of this game. Between the Demon Prince and Solastra, I mean, the Demon Prince is a better duelist, but if it happens in the late game on... Oh, those are Depth Guard! Depth Guard polearms. I swore that these was a random mob. Okay, yeah, if this fight happens on Depth Guard with polearms, Solastra should be just fine. So the priority right now needs to be killing the Frolickers Bubonic and just getting rid of all of Nurgle's frontline and forcing the Demon Prince to fight on top of Depth Guard. This Bomber Bat using the last of their shots onto these Marauders. Now they're just a melee unit. Immediately commit into the melee afterwards, because that's what happens when you run out of ammo. And the charge might take the Marauders out. They're down to 0 leadership. They do rout. The Demon Prince is harassing Solastra once again next to her Gunnery Companion on top of the deck droppers. Deck Guard. Depth Guard? Yes, Depth Guard. Alright. Alright. Brain fart over. Hadri still has some Marauders who are trying to come back into the fight. Looks like the Salt Lord Scuttlers are playing bodyguard to this main fight down here. Frolickers Bubonic are getting away with a silly amount of health, though. They're almost heal capped. Salt Lord Scuttlers need another order. They need constant attention to keep moving in this. And there goes a Vangeist's Revenge, trying to cut off the Marauders that are coming in now. I understand not wanting to use it on the blob fight, because you'll hit your own Depth Guard, which are very important at this point. That was honestly, that was fine. I know that looked a little weird, but it was whatever. You know at this point your opponent's going to dodge it, because there's too few units on the battlefield, where it's like, there's no way they won't notice it happening and dodge. So, just wanted a bit of poke. There's no other casters, there's no other use of your Winds of Magic. It's fine. Salt Lord Scuttlers do need to be more aggressive. That is a mistake. Like, I won't call that Vangeist a mistake, but the Salt Lord Scuttlers just kind of vibing around for no reason. That's a mistake. As the Depth Guard are having a really bad time versus the Frolickers and dealing with this Demon Prince of Nurgle. Vampire Coast is falling behind. And the Salty Boy Scuttles trying to even this out a little bit. I think these Pestigores shouldn't have their terror resistance. And they will get rear charge, which is enough to break them. Another Spirit Leech for Solastra. And the Gunnery White, man, he's been trying, but 600 value. Poking the Demon Prince. Solastra is going to charge back into him. And the Depth Guard losing to the Frolickers is kind of wild. Frolicker, look at him! 1,100 value in climbing. Depth Guard also got 1,100. That is true magic. Thanks, Random Marauder. And this is looking like GG. I mean, Nurgle's just been cycle charging this whole time as they slowly feed infantry into their deaths. The Depth Guard are about to fade away. Solastra's running low on HP. Gunnery White's also running low on HP. The Salt Lord Scuttlers only have 1 volley left. It looks like they are going to throw out the Frolickers Bubonic after all. Some friendly fire onto their Depth Guard and do end up killing them off, but it was a lose-lose situation. They're doing their best to kill these fucking nerdlings. 1 shot onto the Gunnery White should secure his fate so that he can't possibly rally. Demon Prince misses a whole bunch of them, but he should hit that Axe Chop coming up. Wow, actually manages to miss it anyway as the Vangeist comes out. A Desperation Vangeist from Solastra just as Army losses hits. She's going to go down, but she's going to go down swinging as it comes out down the line, hits some of the Marauders a little bit, kills off some other stuff, and that is GG. Hadri's with a 2-0 to take him to stage 2 as well. Gentle Rat will still be in it at 2-2. For Hadri's, beautiful cycle charging with his Lord, 3,600 value on a Demon Prince of Nurgle. Pestigors did alright. They're not going to get good value here, but I see why they were brought in case of like crabs or in case of depth guard and that stuff, but they ended up just getting bombed while fighting zombies. You can't really blame them for not getting good value. Marauders did fine. Frolicker's Bubonic did fantastically well. GG. Yeah, Nick Hanna answering Trogdor's question. For the Gentle Rats build, it was creative. I still think Morgul's just suck harder than anything on this planet ever was meant to suck. So I think that's trash. The Gunnery White was only brought here to give these guys more ammo, and that ended up working out. I also think Celestra is unfortunately just not really the play. I'd probably cut your 2 casters and get Count Noctilus on foot with, like, Melkoth's Invocation of Heck or Invocation of Heck Pit of Shades. That'd probably be better here. Cut the Morgul's as well. Apparently get more Depth Guard, because those guys were pretty good. And then I think this build's fine. But yeah, Celestra just not really working out for how much effort and resources he put into her. GG. I do wonder if she was meant to be a kind of anti-Chaos Knight tech, because if the Chaos Knights of Nurgle were here, you'd just summon the damn Knights Errant on them, and that would chase them around. Be annoying. It's 5:17. It's 5:17, and I don't know when Grace is going to want to do dinner, but I don't know if I want to commit to another best of 3. Hold on. I'm going to go ask her because she hasn't answered my text. So we might have one more best of 3, or this might be it for us here for a bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pop out here. So, BRB. Beep, 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 beep. Aha! I caught my headphones before they fell. Oh, boy. She went back to bed. We're good. She woke up, answered a text, went back to bed, apparently. So, fuck it. We'll do another one. Oh, boy. So what did we just do? We did a winner's bracket, so let's do a loser's bracket. Oh, God. This looks like a really good series. And this looks like a really good series. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. I have 2 really good series. The Phoenix King versus MTK's The Last Mohican. Start off with a Kislev mirror. Very strong, so if they get through the pick and ban, sometimes the only way to counter Kislev is just to pick Kislev yourself. This is the Kislev mirror at high level play is actually very common. Because it's just what people do. They just handshake on, like, fuck it, let's just get this out of the way. And it's, I mean, mirrors aren't particularly interesting, but it is at least a little interesting that, like, people agree on a lot of stuff about the mirror, that, like, Griffin Legion are key, and then you want to Ice Switch, but what lore you take, usually Tempest, but I do see some Ice here and there, and then what you do with the rest of your army is usually up for grabs. So for the Phoenix King's army, we have an Ice Witch of Tempest with Hailstorm as her only spell, 2 Snow Leopards, 4 Griffin Legion, the things in the woods, including the ROR, Mordheim, Beowulfs, and then a front line of armored Kossar with great weapons. Straightforward build there. The double Snow Leopard is a little suspect. On the other side for Last Mohican, we have Kislev Warrior front line, those spooky halberds, Kossite Dervishes, Winged Lancers, and no Griffin Legion at all. A couple things in the woods, including the Mordheim Beowulfs as well, and then a Tempest Caster with her Snow Leopard Summon, and Hailstorm with a couple Kossars with spears. No Griffin Legion at all. That is wild. Oh, hey, the Phoenix King's in the chat. I mean, I saw him earlier, but I didn't know he was still here. Hey, dude. We're casting your games, brother. Are Snow Leopards good? I didn't think so, but a lot of people have been using them recently. But more in the... They've been using the summon. Phoenix King is the first one I see to take the actual unit. As Winged Lancers get crushed on the charge. And a Hailstorm is coming in as well. This feels like a big fight for green to win here. As the Winged Lancers are getting destroyed. Kislev Warriors taking a ton of damage from that Hailstorm. And other Griffin Legions are setting up a flank. This is a disaster for the red team. Now a counter Hailstorm also is going to hit. Doing some decent damage to green. But already a Winged Lancer is beyond all repair. Another Kossite Dervish is half HP, and it looks like the other forces of Kislev just have to back out before it gets worse, rather than trying to save it. On the other side, we have Snow Leopards and Griffin Legion trying to chase down some Winged Lancers and Dervishes, but they are chasing through Kislevite Halberds, which will be really brutal on the damage, so hopefully they back off soon. Snow Leopard Summon is out to dissuade this Griffin Legion from coming in. And there we go, 2 cavalry of Red Kislev knocked out of the fight. Now it has not been one-sided at all. Griffin Legion are taking a lot of damage, especially that one. And then the other side, they are stuck on halberds, and another Hailstorm's going to hit these Winged Lancers and Kislevite Warriors as they fight the armored Kossars with great weapons. And a rear charge in from the Winged Lancers onto this Griffin Legion that's taking a frontal fight with the Mordheim Beowulfs. That is a doomed Griffin Legion for sure. But up here, another Winged Lancer is slain. It's a hot and heavy cavalry battle, as everywhere you look, there's heavy cav getting obliterated. Red Kislev has kept all their archers online, so those are offering constant slow supporting fire, and everywhere you look there are pockets of red halberds trying to poke down all these elite cavalrymen. The Phoenix King is winning the mobility fights, though. He spent more money on it, so you would also expect that, but I have seen him just getting better flank engagements and whatever. But his problem is going to be, if he doesn't ever shut down these archers, they will eventually cost him quite a bit. Like, they're still poking in at these Griffin Legion and whatnot while Winged Lancers hold them in place. Snow Leopard Summon has 13 seconds left as it chases his Ice Witch of Tempest around, but she's done a good job just kind of leading it by the nose and really isolating it from its own forces. Over here, we're going to have a big break on the side of green while they push through the red team. Now these Kossars, they have spears, but still, they're going to be open season for the Griffin Legion to just plow through them without much issue. Green is behind in the balance of power. I can see why, but I think it could turn quickly if these heavy cav ever get onto the Kossars with spears. And unfortunately, this Griffin Legion, they do not have their Buyer Blood anymore. It just popped, and they're fighting these Winged Lancers, but they're fighting him in front of all of these archers and getting flanked by halberds. So I think this is the death of another Griffin Legion. Look to be out. Over here, we have a bunch of units chasing down the things in the woods that they already routed, but I think they need to refocus up on these Kossars who are just firing into them over and over again. What can green do? Hailstorm's out. Not sure who by, as it's going to hit both sides. Hits the Mordheim Beowulfs a little bit more. And Snow Leopard even gets a rear charge onto those guys. So both the Snow Leopards trying to regroup, fight the things in the woods together. Red Kislev has so many infantry left, though, is going to be a pretty big problem. The Griffin Legions that were over here, it looks like the one that was healthy just bailed out entirely. And the one that's almost dead finished being, dead. Double Snow Leopards fighting back-to-back against the Mordheim Beowulfs, knocking out a couple models here and there, and so close to getting these Kislevite Warriors to rout. They finally do, which gives the Snow Leopards free reign to just beat up on things in the woods and call it a day. But more and more halberds keep streaming in, and another Hailstorm is out. It's not used on the halberds, it's being used to push the Kossar spears away, while Winged Lancers get trashed on by the last Griffin Legion. That is also the last Winged Lancer. So now Phoenix King's half-health Griffin Legion should be the last cavalry piece on the map. It needs to dodge this Hailstorm. It's getting shot at by all 4 archers. It looks like Last Mohican has identified it as, having the last cav piece active is a bit of a problem. I need to take that out, take it down. And the Snow Leopards are still fighting on halberds, but look how much damage he's taking in that full surround. Oh, poor sweet Snow Leopard. You are dead as hell, my friend. Dead as hell. Griffin Legion trying to find somewhere to be, mostly just dodging arrow shots for now. Kizilite Warriors, by our blood, is 4 more seconds before a rear charge from the Griffin Legion will take them down, but looks like Griffin Legion are just waiting for that to end. It has ended now, and they immediately come in to break these guys. There it is. Armored Kossars chasing down some of these regular Kossars. But what can the Griffin Legion do? They're going to need to carry this. Red's bounce power is inflated. I suppose both sides have the same caster, though, and she's pretty close to equally healthy. Neither of them really matters in melee. Like, their HP doesn't matter. They can be 1 HP as long as they're casting spells. They're worth the same. The Kizilites are grouping up back here, but it's not super clear to me why. This looks like an Earthblood cast, like you'd want to cast a heal here or something, but they don't have a heal, so I don't know why they're backing off so far, as the red archer line is just moving up and constantly pressuring them, picking off these armored Kossars, who do switch into pistol mode, realizing they won't even get into melee combat before they rout. They're just going to fire some pistols and at least get some damage before routing, which I get. But still, the Griffin Legion are backing off. Snow Leopards are shattering. I don't know what the play is here. Like, what more time is going to buy them. You know what I mean? Charging into your death is also not great, but I don't fully understand what they're hoping to gain by backing off, as both sides throw hailstorms at each other. Alright, Green's playing for a bit of time while his Kossars are chasing down the enemy Kossars and Kizilite Warriors. So I think he's trying to avoid getting shot at while he focuses on chasing these units down, and then he can kind of rally his forces. Oh, there's a Winged Lancer way the fuck over there. That's neat. Winged Lancer is trying to skirt the sides of the map. Now these armored Kossars probably just going to chuck their pistols at him quick. 80 armor and shields is pretty tough, but might as well shoot him. Ice Witch slows them down a little bit. Her Frostbite making it difficult for them to get the charge off. A couple of them get pistoled down. There go the Armored Kossars charging in. Good damage on the Winged Lancers. They still had Fire Blood, apparently. Snow Leopard is in. And he's going to walk with them for a little bit. Kossars with Spears rallying together. Still this kind of... For how late in the game we are and how damaged everyone is, this Death Star of arrows. The Ice Witch and her Leopard pal trying to get away now. And they can Serpentine, but a couple of these arrows are going to hit because there's just so many of them. This is about 100 HP there so far, 200, close to 300. But a Hailstorm's going to hit while I wasn't looking on these Kossars. As they try and dodge, they take about 1/5 of their HP in return. Armored Kossars trying to keep up with their lord, but they will get hit with a bunch of arrows while they do so. 4 leadership left for them. On the high ground, Armored Kossars. Somehow these Kossars with Spears rallied. Don't really know how that happened, but they get immediately massacred by the Armored Kossars that were chasing them. And these Kossars just going to pull out their pistols and die honorably as another volley of arrows is coming in for them any second. Rout off the Kizilite Warriors. The archers do not aim at them. The archers aim at the Snow Leopard instead. Bounce power is getting slightly better for green every so often, but there we go. That's the volley I was looking for onto these armored Kossars. Pin cushioning them and pushing them away. Now, red is running a little low on ammo on several of their Kossars with Spears. I'm going to fast forward for just a bit while the regrouping continues. Archer shooting slowly over there. Please speed up. I didn't know you'd be regrouping for that long. I do speed up, though. You just don't know it, because there's a delay. Archer's firing at the Snow Leopard, getting a couple damage off of him, then he shatters. And his pal might route too, because nearby ally is routing. Friend's routing -3. Ton of shots onto that. Snow Leopard's going to go with him, so that's a bunch of stuff routing for the Phoenix King now. Battlesy and their viewers just joined. What up, dude? How you doing? There's another hailstorm for both sides, though the Phoenix Kings hits 2 Kossar Spears at the same time. I still don't know if they even have the real DPS to kill all these guys, though. There's still some spearmen. I mean, they're not great spearmen, but they're spearmen. In comes the rear charge as the lady distracts them. Beautiful rear charge. Good amount of damage, and they're going to try and reset while the Armored Kossars are moving in on the other side. Snow Leopard has rallied and tries to return to the fight. The Ice Witch of Tempest has taken a lot of damage. 45 armor and 35 melee defense, not going to help her versus all these spears she's now surrounded by if they really turn around and actually deal with her for a bit. And archers chase off the Griffin Legion. Buyer Blood is popped for them. Buyer Blood is popped for the Ice Witch of Tempest. And this is really the last moments for Green here. Can Green Kislev somehow pull off a miracle? I think not, but maybe. As a Hailstorm is going to try and cut off the Griffin Legion, but another one is going for this big old blob. The Griffin Legion bravely charge into the falling snow of their own lord, but I'd appreciate the effort. Buyer Blood is a hell of a drug, though, and it stops red from routing as well as it stopped green from routing. Now it is worn off. The Griffin Legion abandoned their lord. Their lord might be abandoning their armored Kossars, and that will be a win for Last Mohican. Just lost a league game where you guys were ahead by 10,000 gold. That's fucked up. In a very intense mirror match to start off, Last Mohican does prevail to go 1-0 versus the Phoenix King. Alright. Wilden. For the Phoenix King, Snow Leopards, wow, they didn't get a lot of value considering how long they fought. Never mind. I guess there's a reason they don't take those. Armored Kossars did okay. Griffin Legion did alright. Not as well as I honestly would have thought. Things in the Woods did okay. Caster did fine. Enemy Caster did not get nearly as much value as Phoenix Kings. Things in the Woods and their Mortime Beowulfs also did fine. Winged Lancers got massacred. The Kossars did well. The Kislevite Warriors did pretty darn well. Dervishes got wrecked. The more infantry build did end up winning. Blocker, blocker. Okay. 1 second. We're gonna have to do a thing. Possibly. Okay. Okay. So, that's a problem. I'll explain it later. We have the Last Mohican versus the Phoenix King. Game 2. Beastmen Greenskins. Now they have switched sides as I got these replays from various people. Alright. Hi, Battlesy. How you doing? So for the Beastmen, and the Beastmen are Mohican, because I got these replays from different players. So Mohican is green this time, or last time Phoenix King was green. Anyway. Ungor Spearman Herd for the front line of the Beastmen. We have some Centaurs with throwing axes, Centaurs regular, Centaurs of Tzeentch, triple Ungor Raider, Minos with great weapons, 2 of them, and a Malagor Dark Omen. He did bring his leadership debuff and his leadership buff for his troops. So wherever he goes, the Beastmen will not be breaking. That's about it. Some Chaos Warhounds in the flank. On the other side for the Greenskins, we got Heavy Metal Boys, a lot of Orc Warbiggins, Squig Herds as well. We have the Night Goblin War Boss, the flavor of the week, with his Rampage and his Net. Goblin Big Boss with They Need Stabbing as well. And then Orc Biggins for a front line. Don't see that very often. A lot of Orc. This is an Orc-heavy build. Orc Shaman with Edbutt and Gaze of Mork as well. Okay. This is a wild greenskin build. I'm here for it. Let's go. Goblin frontline about to collide with the Ungor Spearman herds. Neither of these front lines matter. It's the Orc Biggins and Minos that will really end up mattering. Jibber Jabber Scythe is charging through these Orc Borber Biggins. Now, the Orc Borber Biggins with anti-large could surround it, but Jabber Scythe has such crazy good attack animations and really good mass. It's not worried about getting surrounded by cavalry. It'll be just fine. Malagor gets rampaged down. It looks like the Goblin Big Boss is hunting him. Wants to, they need stabbing him to death, but he's right now trying to get around that Jabber Scythe. Now he's going to charge straight in, goes for Malagor, and somehow manages to miss. 0 melee defense on Malagor. And yet the Goblin Big Boss managed to miss him on the charge. The front lines are engaged. Centaur's getting eaten alive by Borboy Biggins while these other Borboys kite around, but the Minotaurs are killing Goblins in equal measure. And over there, Centaur's Tzeentch and Minotaurs are going to beat up on the greenskin flank, but Malagor gets entirely deleted. Tormentor's Sword netting him in place while the Goblin Big Boss goes to work, and Orc Biggins also help out quite a lot. A Wah is out to give even more melee attack. And it does not look like Malagor will be getting back in the sky anytime soon, as the Goblin Big Boss is after his ass. Without their leadership, the Beastmen could be in some serious trouble. Now, they're winning on the flanks damage-wise. They're doing very well there. The front line is going to the Greenskins, and then, of course, the Lord Snipe was fantastic for them. But Beastmen owning the mobility game as they should. Definitely behind after losing their Lord, but maybe they can bring it back because the Jabber Scythe is still causing a lot of mayhem. We've lost some pretty intense units on the sides as Minotaurs eat up another Orc Borboy Biggin. Rear charge in from the Jabber Scythe takes out some Goblins, though. A nice Edbutt kills the Ungor Spearman herds. Ungor Spearmen across the front line are all breaking and gone at this point as Minotaurs try and snipe out the Orc Shaman. He is on foot, so their great weapons will not offer them any bonuses, but they still should do fine versus that little Orc Shaman. Centaur's Tzeentch and Dubia rallied back to the fight. They need to return to things that matter, not chasing down shattered units. And Dogs try and get a rear charge on Orc Biggins, but Orc Biggins are thick, burly lads. They don't give a single shit about Dogs rear charging them at all. Minos are going to group together and try and fight these Orc Biggins, Orc Borboy Biggins, all next to the Orc Shaman, with the second Wah probably coming out soon, within the next 20 seconds. This is looking like GG in the favor of the Greenskins, unless something drastic happens. Because those Minos are in it. There's Orcs all over the place. Another nice Edbutt going to poke down the Ungor Raiders, doing really nice damage to them. 0% armor piercing, but against Beastmen that doesn't matter. The Night Goblin boss is not a bum. Oh no, the Night Goblin War boss is very much meta. He's the strongest Greenskin Lord by far. With his Rampage changes, because the Rampage is now guaranteed, right? It's not about a threshold. So you can just Rampage any unit into you. And the Greenskins struggle with Flyers, so if you can Rampage a Flyer down to the ground, that's huge. And then he has a net to follow it up, so after he Rampages you to the ground, he just nets you there and keeps you there. Yeah, it's pretty good. You thought this was kind of meta? The Orc Biggins are wild. The Goblin Big Boss is wild. The rest of the stuff's pretty fine. Jabber Scythe is trying to put this game on his back, just charging around, trying to get the Squigs to rout off, but so far they aren't really having it. And I don't know what the Beastmen can do at this point. They're super low. They have a full health Centaur Tzeentch that's now returning to the fight. What do the Greenskins have? A bunch of Orc Biggins. Yeah, it's going to be a problem, because you can just Rampage the Centaurs of Tzeentch into your Orc Biggins, and then net them there, and that'll be a big problem. I kind of hope he doesn't waste his net. Well, not his net. His Rampage on the Jabber Scythe, because its attack animations usually keep it to safety. You could use your net on it, but not the Rampage. Gaze and Mork pokes in the back of the head. Good stab in from the Night Goblin War Boss. The Jabber Scythe should be hitting the road soon. There he goes. Centaurs need to be Rampaged here. Does not look like they're going to be. They're going to try and Cycle Charge. But that's why you want the Rampage right there, is because then they would just like get netted into all these Orc Biggins and die. Dogs try and save the Jabber Scythe, but looks like last Mohican will just give up the goat. High damage, high HP. Yeah. They can do okay. For the Beastmen, some of their mobility units got a lot of value. Malagor died, like, instantaneously. Yeah, look at that. Night Goblin, big boss, getting 1,500 value from stabbing Malagor to death. Have I been saying Morgr this whole time, or Malagor? Because it's Malagor. Poor Biggins did alright. Largely got destroyed by Centaurs on the flanks. Alright. I don't need to put the blocker up, because y'all know there's a game 3 now, and this is the last game we'll be casting today. Now, why this got tricky is these aren't late. Some of people, you see these people label 1 and 2, so I can tell which one's first, which one's second. When I was casting the Phoenix King game, I cast 1, I looked at 2, and I knew it was a 3-game series, but I was like, wait, they're not labeled, so if I cast the one where whoever wins again, if I cast a 2-0, then the third game doesn't matter. So I was like, shit. As I was looking at him, I'm like, I need to pick the game that whoever wins the series loses. Or whatever. Because I actually don't know who wins. I actually don't know. I'm not the group manager. The group manager for this group would know, but I just grabbed the replays out. All I knew it was a 3-game series. So this is the final game here. And these two have been switching sides since they sent... Sorry. They've been switching sides since they sent me the replays. So Last Mohican is green. Phoenix King is red. Got it. So for Last Mohican, he's going with Jade Warriors and Jade Lancers, Onyx Crowman, the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, a Celestial Lion, and Zhao Ming. Now remember, this is to stay alive in the tournament. These are players in the 1-2 bracket. If you get 3 losses, you're out of the tournament. If you get 3 wins, you advance to stage 2. So the winner of this will go to round 5, the final round, 2-2, win or die. And the loser will get knocked out of the tournament entirely. For the Phoenix King, we have 5 Peasant Long Spears, the Righteous Lances of Wei Jin, Dragonblood Shugen and Lord of Yin, with Ancestral Warriors and Blossom Wind, Cloak of Jet as well. We have 4 Crane Gunners and 4 Jade Lancers to try and defend them. It's a mirror again! It's true. You are a genius and told me, Phoenix King. You are. Last Mohican setting up a good surround here. Crane Gunner's going to start shooting at the Jade Lancers that are creeping in on them as Peasant Longspears trying to intercept them. Phoenix King's own Jade Lancers are going to run forward and try and catch them on the charge. Zhao Ming is over here to cause a little bit of trouble as well. Crane Gunner still wrecking the Jade Warrior front line. That doesn't matter. The flank engagement's going to matter. And Green has more resources to dedicate to it, so we'll see how much that matters. But this Jade Lancer gets destroyed on the charge, and Peasant Longspears flanking them. So far, a good start for the Phoenix King. That is going to be a disaster, though. The Righteous Lancers of Wei Jin fighting their counterparts, but also Onyx Crowman and also a Celestial Lion. There's just more resources here for Green, and Red is taking so much damage. Dragonblood Shugen and Lord might have to land soon if she's going to stand any chance. Jade Lancers beating the other Jade Lancers on the ground, though the Sky fight is a disaster. And the Phoenix King does bail out, landing and running at the same time to get a unique angle and get out of there. Onyx Crowman suicide dive the Crane Gunners. They will take them out, however. And the Phoenix King did get actually a lot better version of the engagements on the ground. His Jade Lancers, the 4v4 of Jade Lancers, he came out on top in every single engagement. It's just the Sky fight didn't go his way. And now 2 of the Crane Gunners have taken significant damage. 1 is under attack by Jade Warriors, and the last was under attack by Zhao Ming, also gets knocked down. So that's a lot of damage value out for Red. I mean, that's 4,000 damage value worth of Crane Gunners. And that's a fucking Blossom Wind rolling down the Jade Warriors. Doing decent damage. Not great, but, like, decent. You know, we take those. Can Red hold on? Bounce power is tipping back slightly into Green's favor. It looks like some Jade Lancers are going to get a downhill charge onto unbraced Jade Warriors to give the Crane Gunners a little bit of space. The Crane Gunners will probably have to immediately start shooting at these Jade Lancers, otherwise they're just going to get run down from the front. Zhao Ming taking a fight in the sky with the Shugenin Lord, who needs to run away. Realizes that this was maybe a little bit of a boondoggle and gets to safety for now. Crane Gunners trying to save themselves, but they do need the Jade Lancers to save them instead. Jade Lancers going to rout off the green version of themselves quickly and then get back into the fight with the Jade Warriors. So far, the cavalry play on point for the Phoenix King. Plays a lot of high up, so you'd hope his Cav micro was strong. Green's Righteous Lances Wei Jin have taken a lot of damage, which is a bit concerning. Some Crane Gunners are managing to rally and fire here and there, like this one that was managed to stay online the whole time. Is going to get a couple shots on the Celestial Lion that's flying straight at them. I wonder if they should maybe be shooting at the Righteous Lances or the Jade Lancers instead. Because if you get into a hyper late game scenario and it's just two single entities, like, your Peasant Longspears will do a lot of work. Yeah, Crane Gunner's not getting a lot of damage out on the Celestial Lion as Jade Lancers get another charge onto these warriors who are unbraced. But in come the Jade Lancers of green. Never mind, he tries to back out, and a big ol' sandwich is coming in. 3 Jade Lancers for the red side, trying to collapse in on the last of the green one that is rather healthy. But the Righteous Lances break up their charge, do an insane amount of damage, and with Celestial Lion nearby as well, that is going to be really bad. Fearsome Warriors out to make these guys rout quicker, and the Crane Gunners still proving rather elusive, rather feisty to deal with. As they turn, they're going to try and get shots onto the Jade Lancers, it looks like now. And a Blossom Wind is going through. It's going to be too slow on the cast, not enough damage. But it tags them just a little bit, lowers their melee stats, gives them blinded, which I suppose is maybe why he took it. Warhammer 2, played some Lizardmen, but I'm an elf guy, I guess, Benjamin. Yeah, I can show you after this game. Dragonbody Shugi Lord is trying to cast something right now. It looks like a Cloak of Jet on herself to stay safe. Phoenix King has rallied an awful lot of Peasant Long Spears as he still tries to keep this one Crane Gunner safe. There's an Ancestral Warrior summon. But the Celestial Lion and Zhao Ming take off while in melee combat, leaving the Ancestral Warriors behind. So unfortunately that summon is not going to amount to much, I imagine. The Righteous Lance is taking a lot of damage, so are these Jade Lancers. So they all rout off. Yeah. Yeah, I can show you a Wood Elf build after this game, because this was going to be the last series I cast as part of the stream. Then I can pound through a Wood Elf build really quick. So, hang around. Hang around, hang around. For the red side, we have strength in numbers, a bunch of spears, a good amount of cavalry left, and that is it. For the green side, though, we have 2 healthy single entities. Zhao Ming has his heal, too, that he needs. You need to kill him like 1 1/3 times. Other than that, green only has 1 Onyx Chroman trying to return to the fight. Everything else is gone. So can these 2 single entities kill all of these spears? I don't think so. Ancestral Warriors have 30 seconds left of life. They're trying to chase down the Celestial Lion. Looks like they'll get in range, and their Terror is taking out a couple of Jade Warriors as well. Oh no, this could be a disaster for Last Mohican. Celestial Roar is out. Trying to get rid of some of these guys. Peasant Longspears holding for now. Ancestral Warriors ended up getting 95 value. Pretty underwhelming, unfortunately, for them. They tried to do more, but they just got walked away from, which is part of the reason I hate this. I don't tend to take the Ancestral Warrior summon when I play Cathay. I just think it gets walked away from too often. But the Peasant Longspear is still doing their best to poke it out. Onyx Chroman landing, which means the Jade Lancers can countercharge them, but they took out a Jade Lancer of their own, so it's fine. More Peasant Longspears trying to join the fight. Zhao Ming does not have his breath attack. It looks like I think he brought Final Trans and Plague of Rust or something. Crane Gunners still alive, still sitting in a whole bunch of Peasant Longspears, and another Blossom Wind is out on the Jade Warriors. Phoenix King, you crazy. Kind of surprised he's not saving up for another Ancestral Warrior in like the hyper late game. If he gets down to just his Yin caster, and he has Ancestral Warriors, he could like summon them and then force Zhao Ming to just sit in them. Celestial Lion takes out the Crane Gunners. That'll get rid of the Harmony bonus for the Peasant Longspears if they can get that Crane Gunner either dead or off the map entirely. The Feast King's trying so hard to get these last Jade Warriors and these last Onyx Chroman to break so that it's just the single entities he has to deal with, because then things get a bit simpler. The Jade Warriors finally shatter. The Onyx Chroman are in as Peasant Longspears continue to close in on them. But another Jade Warrior is back. Celestial Lion's probably going to roar again in a second. That should rout off the Jade Lancers because it'll get them low enough that Terror will take them. Terror takes them before the roar even comes in. Nice. Onyx Chroman do Demonic Crumble. And the Crane Gunners are back! Ah, they routed again. Wait, they have positive leadership. Why the hell did they rout? That was weird. Oh, from 14 back down to 1. Okay, I don't understand anything. ×2 speed quick as the Celestial Lions are going to group up. Alright, lands. Fearsome Roar is going to tear out a bunch more peasants. But Jade Lancers are going to try and get a frontal charge on them and not terror out immediately, but they're going to terror out immediately. They're just trying to hold these guys in place so that the Celestial Lion actually has to deal with spears for a little bit. Crane Gunners do shatter. They're going to go off the map. There's no more hope for Harmony. Can 4 Peasant Long Spears and a Shugenin Lord hold? Do you really have to use a 9 Wind of Magic Blossom Wind? Can you not save up for an Ancestral Warrior? Come on, man. Ancestral Warriors would be way better in this situation. Jade Lancers are trying to run down the Jade Warriors. If they can get one more charge on them, I think these guys are going to shatter if they route one more time. There's the charge. Both sides looking like they're going to route. It's the Jade Lancers route, and the Jade Warriors hang on by 4 Winds of Magic. Times 2 speed for a second. And the Jade Warriors are filtered in. Now, the single entities don't have to attack or anything. Okay, you have enough Winds of Magic. Good. I'm glad you've saved up. Don't shout it past me. Yeah. Dude, I cast a lot of games where people burn Winds of Magic and then didn't have enough for the key spell. Jade Warriors have routed, which means one of these single entities has to always be attacking these Peasant Long Spears by tournament rules, if you care. So they can't just, like, both keep going back to the sky and charging and charging and charging. One of them has to stay here and take damage. It looks like the Celestial Lion is going to be the one leaving, and Zhao Ming turns into his human form to deal with this. He does have Final Transmutation he can cast, and he is going to cast it. Phoenix King's probably going to try and get these Peasant Long Spears out of the circle. He is starting to move, and the overcast damage on Zhao Ming's kind of brutal. Celestial Lion's prowling around. Looks like it's going for the Shugenin Lord, while Zhao Ming is fighting the Peasant Long Spears all on his own. Peasant Long Spears don't have the best stats when you're not large, so Zhao Ming should be relatively safe in their clutches. Relative being a key word there. And the Fearsome Roar on the charge of the Celestial Lion takes out the Jade Lancers once and for all. Jade Warriors are back! Jade Warriors are gone again. Just shatter. Fuck you. I'm tired of talking about you. Leave. You get out of here. A Plague of Rust is out on the Peasant Long Spears. Interesting. But yes, they've shattered. It is now 2 versus 641. Since the magic system rewards using 1 or 2 spells in multiplayer, Lore of Magic is viable as long as you have 1 or 2 good spells. Yes. Alright, the Celestial Lion is back in, and the Peasant Long Spears should probably take any chance they have to hit that thing. It looks like some are trying to charge in and get it, but it's going to get back up in the sky. It's going to be fine. But they'd really like to damage that thing since it's large. But Zhao Ming is going nuts through these guys. He's living his one-man anime right now. Celestial Lion cycle charging. Green is up on the balance of power, though balance of power is often rather optimistic. There's a nice Final Transmutation that could be a key problem. Big Overcast. Ooh, Phoenix King getting at least a little lucky that Zhao Ming took the Overcast damage twice in a row. Can the Yin Lord hang on? Celestial Lion charges back in, gets poked by Peasant Long Spears a little bit, suffers about 100 HP for that charge. And Final Trans ends. Shugenin Lord is still alive. Zhao Ming has lost about 3,000 HP since landing. And the Celestial Lion keeps charging back in. None of the Peasant Long Spears in position to punish it right now, and a Terror Rout does take them. And the Yin Lord throws out an Ancestral Warrior Summon, realizing that the next Final Transmutation could be her last. Just wants to get them out of here, and knows one of the 2 single entities has to stay in the fight and deal with these Ancestral Warriors. And Zhao Ming gonna try and fight the Peasant Long Spear that's furthest away from them, make them at least work for it a little bit. But he's now getting surrounded by all these Peasant Long Spears and the Ancestral Warriors. Celestial Lions going after the Dragon Butter Shugenin Lord of Yin, who is going to try and run away. 95 speed to 85. Both are exhausted. Well, actually, she's winded, so she should be even faster. And the Ancestral Warriors, part of this big old blob. The Yin Lord continues to run away from the Celestial Lion as Zhao Ming is left alone. Bounce power is getting better for the red team as Zhao Ming takes damage, though the Ancestral Warrior Summon's fake, and when he transforms, he's going to get his dragon heal thingy if he ever gets low enough. Cloak of Jet gives Unspottable for the Yin Lord. I think she just cast it for shits and giggles. Don't think she has enough Winds of Magic to do anything else. Yeah, and I mean, Ancestral Warrior Summon is limited to 2 casts anyway. Ancestral Warrior is doing good damage to Zhao Ming. I mean, 150 value isn't, like, crazy, but it's better than the Peasants have been doing for a while against him. And the Celestial Lion lands back into some of the spears, going to route them soon, especially if he has his Roar of Gul'dan. The Yin Lord's actually going to take a rear charge on him, but doesn't manage to really land. There gets a juicy hit on the Celestial Lion, and he doesn't want to turn and fight her at all because he's in the middle of all these spears. But another Final Transmutation out from Zhao Ming is going to be the death of her, and then without her, it should be even easier to get rid of all the Peasants. It's undercast, it's not overcast, but she goes for a rear charge onto the Celestial Lion, gets a big hit in, but she does not die, and charging keeps her in it for a brief moment, gets another hit on the Celestial Lion, and while she terror routes, she almost routed him too, but he manages to rally in time. And she is going to rout for her life. Zhao Ming flies up into the sky briefly. No flying units does mean there's going to be a leadership penalty for the green Grand Cathay. Zhao Ming has to land, and soon, but I know he wanted to turn to his dragon form so he could possibly get his heal. But they haven't landed for a while. They're ticking down for not having anybody landed. The Shugenin Lord is not going to rally. It looks like both of them land, and they're going to try and rout everybody off at the same time. As the Yin Lord goes off the map, their leadership tanks terror route routes, which means routing allies nearby is another leadership debuff, so these guys all start routing. Then the terror route's going to come in from the Fearsome Roar, and now it's just one Peasant Long Spear in the fight, but the Celestial Lion is taking insane amounts of damage from fighting it. Can this Peasant Long Spear hold on? The Celestial Roar wears off, and it's down to 6 leadership, which means it terror routes. And Green Cathay will win. As the Celestial Lion was dying, it was dead. It was just whether or not that peasant would rout. They did in the end. Very good game. Both of the mirrors ended up being bangers, but Last Mohican will prevail, going to 2-2, and the Phoenix King will drop out of the tournament. But if it matters, the Phoenix King did just pass his final exams and is off to live his best life. So, a loss in a video game, a big win in real life. Congratulations to the Phoenix King for that real life accomplishment. Alright, we had a question about a Wood Elf build. Okay, first off, it is very difficult to make any build that counters everybody, but if you're going into a quick battle and you just want a generically strong build, here you go. Drycha's fine. She's strong enough. She has, you just want her summon and then Melkoth's. Melkoth's is just a strong spell. If you really want it, you can grab Pit of Shades, because if you're fighting other new players, they're probably going to make mistakes and form blobs, and then throwing a Pit of Shades on a blob, it's really good value. But that relies on your opponent making a mistake. If you want to play optimally, you probably just want Melkoth's for Drycha and call it a day. Another thing you could do, but again, if you're this build is for a new player who said he wanted to know Wood Elf builds and stuff, and he played Lizardman a bit. So I'm giving him a build that, like, is a little mechanically easier. If you want to challenge yourself mechanically, you could also just go with the caster on an eagle. Wait, if I change the lores, it fucks with me. Okay, you'd want a caster of life, eagle, life bloom, no arcade conduit, none of this shit, and then you'd want flesh, stone, and earthblood. But to start off, I'd just go with Drycha, right? But there are both options if you want them. So Drycha, just Melkoth's, and like you just want to cast Melkoth's on cooldown. Shit's cheap as hell, does good damage to any target besides single entities. Do not cast it on a lord or a hero, but cast it on cavalry, cast it on archers, cast it on frontline. Doesn't fucking matter, just cast it. Every time it's off cooldown, cast it, right? Okay, just don't target single entities. Doesn't do anything. Then a frontline, honestly, Dryads are kind of poo-poo. I'd probably go with 2 Eternal Guard, 2 War Dancers. This is fine. Again, I don't know who you're fighting, so certain factions where you're going to lose the front line so bad you don't even want War Dancers, but like, just generically, War Dancers do okay at killing basic infantry and getting into boxes, so be alright there. I really like Glade Guard spam. I would bring 8 Glade Guard. 3 of them have Starfire Shafts. Armor Piercing is always good. Fire damage is good against healing. Magic damage is good against physical resistance. Otherwise, the just 500 gold ones are pretty solid. So you have Drycha, you have this front line, and then you can get a couple... Honestly, I just get the Glade Riders with the bows. You're going to use them in melee, but their bows are just generically useful. And then Glade Riders regular, and I want 1 Great Stag Knight, so I need to save 300 gold somewhere. Fuck the War Dancers. If you have this many Glade Guard, I guess you don't need the War Dancers. If I turn all of my Eternal Guard to unshielded, what happens to my money? 475, but I can't buy anything with it? Okay. Understood. So we'll do them like this. And then I'll spend my extra 100 gold to turn 1 into a Hagbane tip. And there's a lot. Like, Wood Elves are a struggling faction right now. So you're already kind of going up against it. So that's pretty tough. And this is just a build I would take. If you talk to other people, they'll give you different Wood Elf builds. And that's one of the reasons that I like this game, is everyone has a different idea. So before the Phoenix King, who's also a very good Wood Elf player, before he starts yelling at me, this is one build. There's a lot of them out there, and it's different every matchup. But if you just want something generically strong, this will do you all right. So here's what you want to do with this build I made here. Now, there's lots of different ways to play Wood Elves, but with the build I made you here, you pretty much have to do this. This is the only way you can play what I gave you. Front line of spears, get good space coverage, and then you want your archers in zigzag formation in the back line, so that one burning head doesn't take them all out. You want to spread out the ones that have Starfire shafts and the ones that don't, right? Right. Probably just want one more, like, right here. Try not to blob them up, but sometimes it'll happen. These guys, you can turn them into melee mode or you can leave them on archer mode, but it doesn't really matter. Their point is to chase anybody that routes, so your archers don't have to deal with them. Then you have one great Stag Knight for hard-hitting armor piercing, and Drycha on your front line. Her summon will help plug some gaps, and she herself just offers leadership and stuff. So this is generally your formation, right? And how it's going to work is you walk up, and your archers just need to shoot the fuck out of anything that's in front of them. And if they flank you, right? If they flank you and they bring something in, this archer, let it die. Do not, never, I tell dwarf players this all the time, do not run away with this archer into your other archers, because then they'll all get fucked up and nothing will happen. Hold them there. Glade Guard have 27 melee defense. That's pretty good for an archer unit. They'll hold, and then you turn with these 3 archers, all 3 of them turn and absolutely fuck up whatever's here, and you lose a 500 gold unit. Notice how I tried to put my cheaper archers on the outside, right? I'm putting the 500 gold ones on the outside. So you're trading a 500 gold archer for whatever got back there. It's probably a cavalry piece that's worth more than 500 gold, right? So you're trading up by letting your archer die, and that's why you have 8 of them. You're fine to lose 1 archer, delete that cav piece, right? And then your cav can countercharge when it's getting nice and low. They'll route it, and then they chase it off the map. Or maybe if you have like 3 cav pieces coming in, block 2 of them, let 1 through, and then let your archer shoot it. But that's the point of this build, is you're focusing fire, right? You're taking something out entirely. Your Eternal Guard are just to slow down the front line and let it die. Your Glade Riders are just to chase stuff off or let it die. And you have 1 hard-hitting unit, the Great Stag Knights, that can charge 1, like, Chaos Knight or something heavy-hitting and deal with it, or a monster or something. But these Cav, their entire job is to stay in the back line. They never cross this line, all right? If your cavalry that I built for you in this build cross that line, get them back behind the fucking archers. Do not. I've seen so many people lose with builds like this when these Great Stag Knights route like a marauder on the front line and then chase them off into Kingdom Come. And it's like, no! They're protecting the archers. The 8 archers are going to win you this build. Keep them alive. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much when someone builds a bunch of range and then their cav just fucks off. So your cavalry are blockers. Your Eternal Guard are blockers. The Glade Guard will shoot anything that comes near them. Drycha Melkots anything that she can get her hands on. That's how this works. Now you might be like, didn't you just say the Glade Guard will win you the game? And then earlier you said sacrifice 1? Yeah, sacrifice 1 to trade for a higher value target. Like a Chaos Knight is 1,400 gold. Your Glade Guard is 500. That's fine. Don't trade a Glade Guard for like a Marauder. A Marauder's 375 gold. You can charge a Marauder with the Glade Riders or Dogs. Dogs die to even Glade Riders on the charge, so it's not a big deal. Do that, but like, make smart trades with your Glade Guard. But the Glade Guard are what need to win you this game, so protect them. For the love of God, protect them. So, that's a Wood Elf build I use. It's fine. Again, you'd want different stuff versus different factions. So as you play it, you can kind of get a feel for what you'd want different factions for. Like, for example, this is generically strong. Here's a build that's super specific, but only works against Tomb Kings. So this would only work against Tomb Kings. 2 Dryads, 4 War Dancers. You only want the Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts for their armor piercing against Ushabti, and fire damage against the Tomb Kings is always really, really strong. Spellweaver of Shadows, and you would want Pendulum. You wouldn't want Drycha here. It's just kind of whatever. You can go way cheaper with this Lord. Just get Pendulum, put her on foot, 550 gold, save your money, go elsewhere. And the Pendulum is really good against the Tomb Kings type formations. Cavalry's whatever. You need a couple in this matchup, but it's not great, unfortunately. I do like the Hawkeyes or Jakira for more armor piercing, but also their Discourage leadership debuff can get stuff to crumble a lot faster. That's pretty fun. That's pretty nice. And then Away Stalker is good for its Arrow of Kurnos versus Arkan. Plus just constant poking damage is quite nice. And then with the extra 1250 gold, you can get kind of whatever you want. But I'm just saying, like, this matchup is so different than I would play generically, because the whole game plan is to get through that Tomb King's front line. And War Dancers are great at it. You don't have to worry about Burning Head, because Tomb Kings don't have it. You don't want any of the regular archers because you just purely want the armor piercing and fire damage. So like that, all I'm trying to indicate to you is like, once you feel more comfortable in Wood Elves, your builds change up a lot depending on what faction you're fighting, right? It's really different. But just for a generic one, the first one I gave you is fine. Fine is a key word. You're asking me about a D tier faction, and then you're asking me for a generic build, which you're putting yourself in a double tough time, but on quick battle you should be okay. Yeah. All right. If anybody cares, if you go to our Discord, we do have new player stuff for any people hanging around. I'll do this, then I'll end the stream. If you want to play in our new player tournaments or whatever, just go to Give Rat Ogre Roll. We give it to you, and then every week we host the new player tournament. I mean, RTK was also hosting some new player events. Tequila Sunset hosts for fun tournaments. Tactical Lish hosts some for fun tournaments, so does Lucy. You know, we have these new player tournaments every week. So there's a ton of new player events going on in our Discord. If you get onto ranked matchmaking and you're tired of people playing, like, double Steam Tank and a land ship for the Empire or Thunder Barge with the Dwarves, like, you know, we got you. Our server does have some handshake rules. People get spooked by it, the fruit rules. But the fruit rules largely is just, like, I don't know. Here, I'll show it real quick. People get intimidated because they're like, holy shit, it's a 31-page document. Calm down. Title page, nothing on it you need. An overview, nothing on it you really need. Army limits tells you a bunch of words and math, but you can skip the words and math and go down to the cheat sheets, and the cheat sheets just tell you what the words and math were telling you, right? And then a cheat sheet for 24 factions out of 31 pages, that leaves you with only 7 pages left. And I did say you can skip the first 2, so really the rules aren't that bad. Anyway, what I was trying to get to is we have some handshake rules about not forest camping and not corner camping. If you get out into the Empire, we've banned the land ship entirely. You see a big red X through it. And the steam tanks are limited to 1, and they're considered the same unit. So we have some house rules around the Discord that might help you if you're having a bad time on quick battles. If you're not having a bad time on quick battles, then fuck it, dude. Keep playing quick battles. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying this is here if you want it. You have some people you can handshake with and talk to in Discord because CA took away our ability to type to each other. But yeah, you can play in our practice pit where our bot will match you with other new players. Or you can go to find matches and play best of 3s. This is what the Warpstone Cup's running on. So all these best of 3s I've been casting, they're with this system. This bot matches you, and then it tells you what to do. It says, hey, Steam Tank is limited to 1. Hey, Landship is banned. So it's a good time. You should come join us. Hang out. We have lots of new players. And if you're like, I don't want to play, I'm a new player. Bruh, there's lots of new players. Look at them all. Look at all the new players in here. Anyway, I hope to see you there. Why isn't this landing zone filling up right now? Where the fuck all the people at? Okay. You good? Everybody good? Boxes everywhere? Yeah, no, dude. Nah, fam. I mean, like, there are boxes, but I don't think there's nearly as many on our Discord server as there are other places. What does Grace want? Alright. Yeah. I mean, there are boxes. It is a viable strategy, but I think there's going to be less on our Discord. There's Rush, there's Kite, there's boxes, there's Artillery, Heavy, there's Pike and Shot. I've seen a pretty diverse amount of replays and stuff. Blobs are thankfully fading, but there's still occasionally a blob. Or if you're into domination, I mean, RTK plays a lot. If you're on my server, just anybody with the RTK tag can probably get you some good dom resources. I know Turin's server is also good for that. So, my server is more land battle friendly. You're not going to find a lot of domination around there. It's just kind of how it shook out because I'm a land battle caster, so my Discord fills up with land battle people, right? But there are people on there who know how to get you the domination resources if you desire those. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Subscribe if you haven't. And goodbye. Post a Hazel pick? No. 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 No.